another one when you thought it wasn't gonna be another one. Shout out to FYBJ Main. That's who made that saying up. You know what I'm talking about? It hit different. I ain't even been asleep. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Listen, I just want to come back with y'all on some Melly stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know how you just be laying down and just be having tough stuff going through here. You just want to discuss and just want to talk about it. I was like, man, you know what, man? I'm on a grind, my nigga. So you know what? I just want to just come back and I want to work. Put it this way, I wanted to grind. I ain't want to feel like going no sleep and laying down and all of that. I felt like grinding. And it was stuff about this case that I wanted to go over with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm back. Yeah, I ain't been asleep either. I'm back with another one when they thought it wasn't going to be no another one. For real, I told you, boy, grinding. Nah, I ain't eat no breakfast. I ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's all I ate. And some ginger ale. You know, dude? Yeah, man. Listen, we grinding. Shout out KL1K. Shout out TJ Blood. Shout out Battalion Bullet. Yeah, nah, I ain't went to sleep yet. I'm telling you, I ain't been asleep. You know what I'm saying? I'm pulling an all-nighter. Loki the truth. We are early. Straight up, we are early. Listen. We up. Hell yeah. Chime in. Check my email. All right, I'm going to check my email, cuz. Some promo for me. I seen that. I hit you back. You must say check your email. I done reply to that email. But I appreciate it. Let me know what you answer my email so I know what, we can talk about it. But I appreciate it. I answered it. I seen it too. John Doe TV, man, what up? I'm back with another one when you thought it wasn't gonna be no another one. Straight up. Who? Nigga, I'm dropping like 3 lives a day. I'm off today. Y'all gonna listen. Y'all gonna be behind. Y'all got to go to sleep. I'm gonna be grinding. I thought about it like, man, fuck them. I'm gonna take this thing back to the block on these bloggers. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you be on the block and you gotta out grind the next man. Man, I'm out grinding them niggas. Shout out to Chicks 1000. Yeah. I'm back with another one. They thought it wasn't gonna be no another one. Listen, this is what we gonna do though. We gonna go over the infamous, cause bitch, I done fucked around and got on Spotify. Y'all done put me on Spotify last night. So look, we gonna go over infamous. We gonna go over the whole Ace Hood documentary, right? Episode by episode, and we gonna break them bitches down. The evidence they got in the against Melly. Their opinions on the whole situation. What Jacoby Mills said. What John Tavius Wilders said. What Melly allegedly had did, what the police said, it got them on Melly coattails. But before we get into that, I want to go over some that we listened to when we listened to the DJ Academic interview with Track last night. Y'all know we was having technical difficulties, so I couldn't understand. I couldn't see y'all chats, but I was just instead of talking. Shout out to Sophisticated Nunu. Bro, listen, Nunu was spamming my Cash App, right? I was looking at that shit. You know Nunu, you know what Nunu say about her boyfriend, right? So I was looking, I blocked Nunu ass. I say, boy, Nunu must be, her boyfriend must got a hold of her Cash App trying to run a play. You see what I'm talking about? That thing kept saying requesting this, requesting that. I'm talking about Nunu was trying to do Morse code so I can know to refresh my chat so that they could that I could see them again. But I ain't know. I'm thinking I'm sitting here just keeping on blogging, but Nunu them, but I can't see the chats. So Nunu them, they spamming my Cash App. Nunu spamming my Cash App. But I'm thinking, is Nunu boyfriend running the play on my goddamn Cash App? Cause Nunu already said what she said, you know what I'm saying? So it keeps saying how much money is being requested out of my Cash App. I'm like, oh Lord, I done let the scammers in my Cash App. God damn. Look, I blocked Nunu ass. As soon as I got off the phone, block. You know what I'm saying? Then she had hit me with an email and let me know, nah, she was just trying to get my attention so I know to refresh my page so that they could see my chat. But bro, that shit was hilarious. I kept looking at that shit. I said, oh Lord, Nunu and them got me. I say Nunu boyfriend got me. He running the play on my Cash App, bro. God damn. Hey, but listen. So I did see how much y'all got to see of me continuing the blog last night, right? So, did y'all hear Track snake ass? Did you hear Track? Did you hear Track say that he would not let Melly do an AI? Yeah, we're trying to get, I knew y'all trying to get my attention. Nunu told me. She had emailed me, so I see her email. But look, do y'all realize that Track was saying that he wouldn't? Oh, you hit me back? All right, cuz I'll check it. My bad, I'll check it. You didn't hear Track saying, y'all hit that like button on the way in. You didn't hear 100K Track saying that he didn't want it, he wouldn't let Melly do Morning the Chicks 1,000. He wouldn't let Melly do. Shout out King Morado. I see you up in this thing with us, man. Listen, y'all heard Track say that he wouldn't let Melly do a AI album, and he say Melly only got one more album full of work, and Melly want to drop the album now. Track say if Melly drop that album, that'll be Melly's last album with him. Do you hear that? He say Melly dropped 4 albums so far. One on when he was out, and all the rest of them 3 got dropped when he was in jail, and most in the other 3 got recorded while he was in jail. He got 1 album worth of music left. Melly want to drop the album now. You see what I'm saying? Track saying they might drop it, they probably will drop it. But after he dropped that album, he's saying Melly ain't got no more material for an album. So basically, I'm just saying, and then DJ Academic said, okay, well, why don't y'all see if y'all can go the AI route? And I'm telling y'all, they got this thing, it's called, it's AI, artificial intelligence. And I'm telling you, if you upload the lyrics into the computer, the computer already got your voice in it. It already got your voice in the computer. They got it now where that motherfucker sing, rap, everything, just like you. I'm telling you, so DJ Academics was asking Track, well, why don't y'all let him record and write the lyrics and drop an AI album. It's gonna sound just like Melly. I'm telling you, that fucking computer, it sounds just like him because it got his voice already in it. It already got songs of him in the damn computer. So the computer know how to synthesize the exact sounds that make his voice. I'm telling you, I done heard AI songs. You cannot fucking tell that it's not the original artist singing it. So DJ Academic asked Track, why wouldn't he let Melly why wouldn't they do an album like that? And Track was like, man, shit, man, no, if it ain't him really singing it, we don't want to do it. I don't want people to think I'm milking my artist. Nigga, what is you talking about? This man, we talking about in the scenario where Melly end up getting convicted and end up being in jail for life, right? What the fuck you talking about? You ain't gonna do no AI album with this man because it ain't really him singing it. He don't give a fuck about that. He gonna be the original writer of the lyrics. You not gonna be able to tell. He could have already did an AI album and you wouldn't know. I'm telling you, you would not know the difference. What I'm saying is, how the fuck Track gonna try to stop this man from possibly getting some money and feeding himself and feeding people or eating because he don't want it because it's an AI album. The point I'm trying to make is, do you see how Track is already trying to write Melly off? He already done pushed past Melly. He and himself knows that Melly is possible. All right, I'm finna play this shit. That's what I'm finna fucking do. I want y'all to hear this shit. Because I can fucking go over it. But I want y'all to hear this shit. Let me see. I want you to hear this shit. Like, this it, yeah. I want y'all to hear this shit. I was fucking thrilled.
His mom, everybody think X's mom's gonna be the first to do it. Cleo is not gonna do that. I watched the X trial, and I'm telling you, man, if you're emotionally invested into an artist or anyone, and you have to sit there, obviously I know his mom and his brother, and everybody involved, family member wise.
They actually try to ban them off from coming.
Why?
Because That's the type of time they on.
And I want to clear up something too. I thought that they tried to ban the family from the visitation in the last video. That's not what Track's saying. Track's saying they tried to ban Melly's family from the actual courthouse. They already kicked out Drew from with jury picking. For what? I do not know. But Track said this. And they fucking they trying to ban him from the trial. But from the courthouse. But what he's saying is, since that B Slime want to be there, and he's a minor, then they kind of letting Melly mama come. But they really saying, I don't understand why they try to ban him. I don't get it. But that's what the fuck he's saying. It could be a lie. It could be some spin. You know, he real slick with his, he real slick with his tongue. So it could be some spin going on here. Another thing I want you to listen to when he talk, right? Academic's gonna ask Track, are you attending the trial? Track gonna say, no, he's not attending the trial because he's not, the prosecutor isn't looking at him in the best light. You know, he's not looking at him, the prosecutor is kind of like, he's trying to say like the prosecutor got something against him. Hit that like button, y'all, hit that like button, hit that like button, please hit that like button. Listen, so Track saying that the prosecutor don't like him and that the prosecutor got something against him. So he's not going to the trial. He's gonna say that in a minute, but I just want to talk about it before we get there. He fucking lying. Nigga, you don't want to go to that motherfucking trial. You don't want to go to that motherfucking trial. And hold on, before I get into that, I'm trying to figure out how the fuck he ain't supposed to hit the stand. So you mean to tell me 100K Track ain't? They said that 100K Track was with Melly at Fredo Bang house after the alleged incident that night. So you mean to tell me it ain't the police ain't subpoena him, depose him, no kind of way? You get what I'm saying? No kind of way. So he's saying he's not going to the trial. So I'm trying to figure out how the fuck exactly he don't want to be arrested. Shout out to what is that? Lieutenant Tamika. Okay then, girl. Hey, look, morning. But he's saying that he ain't going to the motherfucking. They got the woo going on in this motherfucker, but I believe in Jesus. But listen, anyway. What the fuck just happened here? Okay. But anyway, he's saying he ain't going to the trial. Two things. Like I said, I thought for sure he would have been subpoenaed and they'd asked him some kind of questions. Like, I'm pissed. Well, I ain't gonna say I'm pissed off, but I'm saying, like, to me, if you the prosecutor, you don't think you got Jacoby Mills saying he gave 100K Track the murder weapon. You mean to tell me you don't got no questions for 100K Track as the prosecutor? You got a statement from a witness who's saying that they found the gun. Melly, Portland, Track, and Jacoby Mills, according to Jacoby Mills, went and found the gun. Jacoby Mills said he found the gun. It was a .40 caliber handgun with blood on it. He said he gave it to Track, and Track said, I take care of this. You mean to tell me, because Track's saying that he's not going to the trial. And if you're not going to the trial, that means you're not involved in the trial to where you have to be there. So the point I'm trying to make is, there they go with the bullshit again. Man, goddamn. You see what I'm saying? I can't see the chat again. Like, I don't understand. God damn. For real. God damn, they started with the bullshit. Now I can see it. But, so you mean to tell me as the prosecutor, you ain't got no questions to ask 100K Track? You ain't subpoenaed him for nothing? Seems kind of strange to me, but hey, that's what he's saying. But let's keep going here.
But due to his little brother being a minor, he should basically have to be there to be there with him because he's a minor. So be slime. But they.
Oh man, what happened here? It's always some bullshit. I seen the look. It say connection failed. I seen the lights down. Maybe it's about to rain outside or something. Maybe. I don't know. Why should they? I know they so trying to stop the motherfucking grind, but they ain't gonna stop it though. Last night they cut off the fuck. Y'all say that I need to refresh my chat. I don't fucking know. Maybe. But what the fuck going on now? We only 15 minutes in and shit. The lights dimming in the house. Goddamn. I know what's gonna happen with that. I think we had a brief power outage real quick here. Let's see some. I got some for them bitches. I think we had a brief power outage, and I think that what hit with the messed up the fucking internet. I think. But anyway, look, check it out. So Shrek said he's not going to the trial. So that just threw me. That just fucking threw me. Like, if y'all remember now, he didn't even go to Vaughn's funeral either. But he don't want to be arrested on the spot in case somebody flip. I thought about the same thing too. That's what I think. Well, they sure be trying to motherfucking. I'm telling you, dog. That shit, dog. Let's see that. So what I wanted to do today, though, y'all.
Emergency room around 4.
What I wanted to do, right, y'all, is I wanted to play. I can't see none of is y'all still chatting? Cause I don't see none of y'all in the chat. Okay, now I see y'all. The horizontal mambo, for real. I always hear just in the bushes. Yeah, for real. Somebody last night said, click the refresh chat to fix it. Okay, I got you. Silk Foster Jr., what it is? Okay, look. You think he would get off? Maybe if Melly, if it was Melvin, for real. Damn, bro, you were early literally listening to the last episode. Now listen, I'm telling you, but we gotta keep grinding. I just figured we gotta keep going. But listen, this is what I'm finna do for y'all though. I'm finna go over the infamous Ace Hood YNW Melly story documentary with y'all. So I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna pause it, we're gonna go over it. It's gonna be real informative, y'all.
This morning with gunshot wounds. What they don't know is where the shooting actually happened.
Yellow tape around his body, it's a fucking homicide. Faces on the t-shirt and he's traumatized. I didn't even mean to shoot him. He just caught me by surprise.
You chillin', man. You feel me? It's Mr. Melly, man. Melly. The kid with murder on his mind. Himself.
TMZ reports Florida is now seeking the death penalty against Melly.
It's August 2018. The Florida rapper YNW Melly is talking to Adam 22 on the No Jumper podcast.
So what you got tattooed on your face? Tell me about it a little bit.
No, I got a sack chase right here. That's my brother. That's my twin.
Okay.
I got Juvie.
Juvie?
Yeah, my brother.
Just a lot of your friends who passed?
Yeah. No, them my niggas right there.
Oh, okay.
My brothers right there.
My bad. I wouldn't get none of my friends tattooed on my face until he died.
Boy, Adam 22, a janky motherfucker. You see that? He asking Melly about the tattoo, sack chase, and Juvie. He was like, oh, is these your friends that dead? He like, nah, they're my friends, they right there. Boy, you see that's kind of, you see the fucking eeriness over this fucking case? Adam 22 spoke that shit into existence. You see that fucking shit? This is why Second Juvie was alive. They was actually at No Jumper with Melly when he was doing his interview with Adam 22. And I'm gonna say another thing. Somebody asked a damn good question. I forgot who it was. And somebody asked me, he got Sack and Juvie name tatted on him? And I said, yeah. They said, why don't he got Bortland name tattooed on him? He might got it by now, because Bortland pulled the move with the helping him, with the situation. But I'm saying, why didn't he have Bortland name tattooed on him that same day when he got Sack and Juvie on him? And Sack and Juvie was alive then. Like, for real. Y'all were planning to kill them. That's why the tats were already there. Woo, Kusha. Damn. That's a powerful statement, Kusha. Woo, that's a powerful one. What if that is true, Kusha? Damn. That's a powerful statement there. I feel you. That could possibly be. Damn. Damn. All I know is that this is a very sad story for everyone involved. I agree, Chase 1000. Let me tell you something. I'm telling you, I watched the Drew Filmed It video the other night where he kind of just like clipped up a bunch of videos where Melly and them was having fun in the house and traveling, doing videos and doing shows. I promise y'all, I almost cried, bro. When I saw Sack and Juvie and Bortland and Melly and the fun that they was having and the life that they was living and the look like love they had for each other. And then I realized that two of these guys dead now because one of these guys is alleged to have killed them. That shit, I'm telling you, I fucking almost had a tear in my eyes. I was like, this shit is fucking sad, bro. But let's keep going on with this infamous Ace Hood documentary, the YNW Melly story.
Melly, Sack Chase, and Juvie were part of the rap crew YNW, Young Nigga World.
YNW family, YNW family. This right here.
The front man was Melly, 19 years old. He had the voice, the songs, and the charisma. His skinny figure could dance just like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I wanted to be Michael Jackson. Ever since I was like 5.
Also 19, Juvie was the chill, happy-go-lucky one.
You got some haters just mad at the success, but now they see it, they just hate it, but they love it at the same time.
He was the glue that kept the crew together. Sack Chaser, who had just turned 21, was more business-minded.
They love us in.
He had big plans for YNW, plans so big that his friends believed the crew's success would soon take them all out the hood. There's also a fourth member of the crew, YNW Bortland. We'll talk more about him later. But for now, what you need to know is that Bortland is the one who drove Juvie and Sack Chaser to a hospital in Miramar, Florida in the early hours of October 26, 2018.
Morning, Kilo.
Bortland tells the cops that they were victims of a drive-by shooting. 2 months after giving that Adam 22 interview, Melly's friends, Sack and Juvie, the names he tatted on his face, both of them were dead.
So he had their names tattooed on his face 2 months before they would actually die. We just want to take a mental note of that. He had Sack and Juvie tattooed on his face 2 months before they actually died. Coincidence? Who knows?
Welcome to Infamous, story of YNW Melly, a Spotify original podcast in partnership with Complex. This season looks at how a crew of friends from a small Florida town was rocked by a violent murder, and why hip-hop's breakout star, YNW Melly, is at the heart of it. I'm Ace Hood, and I'll be taking you through YNW Melly's story. Like him, I'm a rapper from a small town in Florida, but I've also been around much longer than Melly. So I've seen stories like this, coming up with your homies, hitting it big. Money brings you opportunities, but it can also bring you a whole new set of problems. It's an added sense of pressure from your friends, from the haters, from the cops, but still making it out is something you give almost anything for and do anything to protect. Melly and Bortland say this tragedy was a drive-by. Haters, rivals that took out 2 members of their crew. But authorities say Melly is responsible for shooting his fellow YNW members with Bortland's help. And if that's true, it's a rare thing. Violence in the rap world happens, but it's not usually the star pulling the trigger on members of his own crew. And this particular crew was so young, bringing a new blend of melody and gangster rap into the mainstream. And that momentum stopped all of a sudden. Melly put a photo on Instagram the day after the shooting. Him, sack chasing Juvie. Here's what it reads. They took my brothers from me over jealousy. I know y'all watching over me. They want to see me break down and stop, or in jail or a box. But my niggas still need me. They parents need me. They family need me. Till we meet again, my twins, my slimes.
Do you hear that shit? I'm saying, I'm just saying, this is what Melly wrote. But you're the alleged murderer. This shit is amazing, bro. Like, my God.
This is episode 1. Little old Gifford. Let's get it.
Talking to me.
Hey, man, I'm from Gifford, Indian River County. I'm from Vero Beach, Florida. South Florida, nigga, we winning, man. South side. I'm from the Gito. I'm just another product of the G. Yeah.
W. Melly's given name is Jamel Dean. Gifford, Florida. A small, largely black town that sits right behind the mostly white coastal city of Vero Beach. The median household income in Gifford is about $36,000. By the time he had hit high school, Melly and his friends started calling themselves Young Nigga World.
We were kids who didn't wait for nobody to tell us what to do.
That's Jalen Green. He goes by Jay Green. He's a rapper who grew up with Melly and his crew. Jay Green says the phrase Young Nigga World, that just described how they felt.
We ain't really had nobody to tell us how to get money or how to rap or how to ride a bike, nothing. We had to do that on our own, so we felt like, you know what I'm saying? We had to make our own way.
And they did. Even back then, Melly and his YNW crew stood out. They dressed differently from everybody. They'd show up to school in colorful, brand name clothes and dyed their hair blonde. Melly sometimes wore mismatched shoes and 2 watches at the same time. Melly also had the moves.
Yeah, Melly was definitely dancing. Like, if he would have never did music, he would have been the kid dancing in, like, during school when they had, like, pep rallies. He used to jerk. That bitch could Chris Brown, Michael Jackson. That bitch good.
That's Casper, an old friend of Melly's who we'll hear more from later. At that time, Melly's music was developing a pretty big local following.
You started off when you were 15.
They don't, the 6,000.
Music up on SoundCloud.
Yeah, that's Melly in an interview with my boy DJ Felly Fell in 2019.
That's how I got started.
Yeah, that's what I started from, SoundCloud.
But Melly wasn't the only one. In the mid to late 2010s, a whole bunch of young rappers found followings on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Whether it was through constant trolling like Tekashi 6ix9ine.
YG, suck my fucking dick, stupid.
Or giving inspirational speeches like XXX Tentacion.
It does not matter what your dream is or what your goal is. You make sure to follow what you believe is good for you.
Melly was part of a tradition.
The way that Melly fits into SoundCloud rap is he's really the heart of what that scene kind of stands for.
Somia Krishnamurthy is a music journalist who's written for Billboard, Rolling Stone, XXL, and pretty much everybody else. She also curated rap playlists for SoundCloud.
It's really, as I like to say, kind of like this wild, wild west place where creators can be themselves. The barrier to entry is very low insofar that you just got to upload your track. You don't see the industry politics. It's not about trying to get on the playlist or, you got to be signed to a label in order to break here. It really has that kind of breeding ground fresh feel.
Guys like Tekashi and X rode a wave of SoundCloud rap that relied on outrageous rock aesthetics. But Melly came along a little later, and he grew up listening to pop. Adele, Ed Sheeran.
I just wanna go so far. What I'm finna do is, cause everybody wanna do it aggressive and gangster and all that. I'm gonna say some gangster shit. I'm gonna do it in like R&B melody. Ain't nothing, no pressure, I swear to God, if I catch him, I'ma blast him. No, I do not get no fuck, little bitch from school, I don't go to class.
Melly stuck out because his songs had this crazy combination of catchy, dope melodies and raw, hard, disturbing lyrics. People like Roddy Ricch and Polo G have big careers making melodic gangster rap. But when Melly first started doing it, it was a new thing.
If I really kind of encapsulate it probably to one nice sentence, it's like, street records with soul hooks. It's almost like a Trojan horse, right? Like you listen to the record, oh, it sounds so good, it's so interesting, and then you take a deeper dive into the lyrics, it's like, oh shit, like what did he just say?
I know I got blood on blue Balenciaga. Oh, that boy, they let that pistol single melody. Fuck all of that talking, we can go to war.
One thing that just always stood out to me about Melly's music was that he would talk about guns and murder constantly.
That's Adam 22 again. Adam discovered Melly early on and was fascinated by him. Even tried to sign Melly to his former label.
And then he would talk about sex and women. Those two things just meant a lot to him.
She's a very freaky girl, get it from her mama. First you get a knife, then you get a number, then you get some brain in the front seat of the Honda. She gon' snake the dick, we just call her in the corner.
I felt like Melly stood out because he just didn't seem like he had any boundaries on what he was willing to do in recording a verse.
What Adam just said is interesting to me. It makes me think about Melly's biggest song, Murder on My Mind. Melly released it when he was just 17 years old. He wrote it while locked up for firing a gun near his high school. In the song, Melly raps about a murder and its immediate aftermath. The lyrics have been used against him in court and maybe will be again, but this doesn't make him unique. Sometimes, rappers keep it real in ways that help their career, but also put them at real risk. Think of Tay-K, who had a viral hit about being on the run from the law, recorded when he was actually on the run
from the law. Yeah.
Fuck a beat, I was trying to beat a case, but I ain't beat that case, bitch, I did the race.
Or the Pop-Out Boys, who had a big song about scamming and then were arrested for scamming. But back to Murder on My Mind. This song changes everything for Melly, which we'll talk about. But the track itself has this haunting melody.
Wake up in the morning, I got murder on my mind. AK-47's Mac.
Afterwards, he released a bunch of new songs.
So it's never a wrong time to slang that iron.
That's Slang That Iron.
And I gotta shoot first, cause I know that they pussy blind, no kidding me. And I really don't feel the way I was.
And here's Butter Pecan.
White coupe, butter pecan, big bitch, Puerto Rican. Take you out to Paraguay or California for the weekend. I wish I can do these, so you gotta make about 3 friends. Don't flex, don't pretend. You know we spin the pen.
Damn, he blew it, dog.
Those songs got him in
blew it.
Clout and some
He blew it, dog.
songs on SoundCloud. Enough to grab the attention of Kanye West. They put out a track together.
I think I got mixed personalities. This bitch switched up my whole mentality.
And then, just as Melly's career reached new peaks, his 2 best friends, Juvie and Sack Chaser, were murdered. And everything changed. That's when we come back.
Hey, look, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all some real shit. With what he had going on, it wasn't nothing that was gonna make me blow that, dog. I'm sorry, bro. I mean, I understand he had issues and he had stuff going on, you know what I'm saying, or whatever in his family and all of that type of shit. But I'm saying, being that I was poor and I fucking see that I can fucking make it fucking living my fucking dream, yo. Like, I can fucking be a celebrity. I can live this life. We only get one fucking life as far as I know. If you believe in reincarnation, I hope it is a reincarnation. Just don't get reincarnated as a cat or an ant or a fucking butterfly or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, he had it. He had a chance for that one fucking, the chance to live that one life that a lot of people want to live and don't fucking get a chance to live that fucking life. I don't know what happened. Honestly, I don't. We all just be talking here. We know what they say happened. We know what we think happened. But we know something really bad happened because we got two of the members that's no longer here and it's looking like Melly killed them. What I'm saying is this. Anything short of us getting them shooting at me, killing somebody, bro, I'm just saying, I don't think nothing could have made me kill them, bro. Not that I wouldn't have wanted to do something to Sack Chaser or whoever, however, or anybody. What I'm saying is, me knowing what I'm gonna possibly lose would have made me not do none of that shit what allegedly he is alleged to have done. Bro, this boy had it. He was gone. He was fucking gone, bro. He can't listen. And the rise was so fucking fast, like so fast, and it was organic. People from where he from really fuck with his music. Those young high school kids was fucking Melly fans. The white ones, the black ones, all of them. He blew it, dog. He blew it. He blew it. Damn, Melly. Let me see. Damn.
Welcome back. Before I tell you more about Melly's life,
yeah, he was going to the top.
Get a better handle on what went down the morning his crew members were killed. Hey, Sean, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Man, it's going, brother. So I talked to Sean Sotero. He's our reporter on this show. So we're gonna dive right into it. So Sean, tell me. Sean closely studied the police records from that night.
It was October 26th.
At around 4:30 a.m., Melly's friend YNW Bortland pulled into the hospital parking lot with two bodies in his car. Bortland told the cops that their crew had been at a recording studio in Fort Lauderdale until the early morning. He left with Sack and Juvie in his car, a gray Jeep Compass.
Bortland's story is like, look, I was driving down Miramar Parkway.
He my battalion bully.
And someone pulled next to us and started shooting. And I ducked down. And when I came back up, these two guys were shot. And I didn't see who shot them. I don't know what happened. And I turned around and drove to the hospital.
They said that's Bortland's story. Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button.
He, Juvie, and Sack were victims of a drive-by. Melly wasn't anywhere near the scene. And that's what was first reported to the public. But the cops go to the spot where Bortland says the shooting went down.
And there's nothing. No broken glass, no shell casings, nothing. The officers get out of the car and walk up and down this huge 12 Avenue stretch, to see way past where he said it happened to see if they could find anything. They can't find anything. And they think that's pretty weird. So Bortland's story about I was on Miramar Parkway and this was a drive-by is just getting kind of more and more suspicious.
Now, Bortland initially said that Melly wasn't there. He was nowhere around. None of this, right? I just want to point that out. He initially said this, right? That's what they just said, right? He took him to Miramar Parkway or wherever the fuck else, wherever the scene he said it happened at, and they couldn't find shit. No glass, no shell cases, no nothing. At this point, the police is getting suspicious.
I actually used to live on Miramar Parkway. To think something like this would happen there is kind of tough to believe. That area is basically a gated community. It's pretty wealthy. Stuff like this doesn't really happen around there. The cops go to the recording studio and look at the surveillance footage, and they see something they didn't know before. Juvie and Sack weren't the only guys that got into Bortman's car before the supposed drive-by. Melly left with them too. And what does Melly do after everything goes down? Heads right to a video shoot.
It's a motherfucking video shoot. Melly is here. That bitch repping his motherfucking dog. Somebody's dog dead and gone.
The next day, Melly made a short post on social media. He wrote, "They took my brothers from me over jealousy."
When situations like that happen, we get DMs, crazy DMs. So when that shooting happened, we got 50 DMs, like, immediately.
This is Sean Cotton of the hip-hop news site Say Cheese TV.
But nobody really suspected anything. It was just a shooting. You know, shit happens all the time.
The rap world just shrugged it off as the latest example of senseless violence. Like XXX Tentacion, who was murdered while shopping for a motorcycle. Or the New Orleans rapper Young Greatness, who was shot and killed outside of a Waffle House just 3 days after Juvie and Sack chased his death. The idea of haters taking aim at an up-and-coming rap crew was sad, but not surprising. Almost no one in hip-hop had any question about it. Melly's friends were killed by haters in the drive-by. That's it. But in the weeks after the killings, the cops kept looking into what happened, and they got an unexpected clue.
So in December, Melly puts out this documentary about him, about Gifford, about the crew, and it was shot, before Sack and Juvie were killed, right? But they put it out afterwards. So they add this little note to it that basically says, like, YNW Melly and his friends were victims of a drive-by shooting. So the cops are a little suspicious of that because they're like, wait a second. Melly never said he was a victim of this drive-by shooting. He never said he was there. He didn't show up at the hospital. Now all of a sudden on his official YouTube, there's something saying that he was a victim. Like that, okay, so maybe he really was there.
Question. So the cops would not have known that he was on the scene until he put out this documentary stating that he has been a victim in a shooting, because
they were already suspicious because they knew that the drive-by story was kind of falling apart at that point. But when that came out, that was like another reason to be
more suspicious.
Yeah, exactly, of Melly. They say it's significant because it places Melly at the scene of the crime. That's what the cop in his arrest affidavit said. Yeah.
And get this. Over the course of their investigation, the cops eventually learned one other thing. From cell phone records, they pieced together where Melly was at every moment during this incident. Turns out, they could confirm that Melly got into the car at the recording studio at the same time as Sack and Juvie. And he didn't get out the car until after they were shot, just minutes before Bortman got to the hospital. If you take what the Broward County cops say they discovered, it does not look good for Melly in this moment. Of course that is, if you take what the Broward County cops say they discovered.
Broward County is infamous for having convicted the wrong person of murder.
That's Howard Finkelstein. He was the public defender in Broward County from 2004 until 2020.
More so than any other county in the state of Florida, by a large margin.
Before being the boss, he worked in the public defender's office for decades. He has 40 plus years of experience defending people in Broward. But if you're from Florida, you might know Howard by another name.
Tonight's Help Me Howard with Patrick Frey.
Help Me Howard. For the last 20 years, Howard's done a segment on the local news where he gives legal advice to the everyday person.
Well, Howard, is Mauricio out of luck?
Mauricio can sue the owner of the car if she will not pay for his damage.
Howard says that despite Broward County being a liberal, democratic place, there's still deep institutional racism. Racism that you can see in the criminal justice system, and in particular, racism that you can see in the innocent people who end up convicted of serious crimes.
Almost all of the people that have been exonerated at this point are people of color, or if they're not people of color, they are people that suffer mental illness. So that kind of yields the conclusion that something is wrong in the water.
Between 1976 until 2020, 12 people in Broward County have been convicted of serious crimes, including murder, and then found innocent. That's the most of any county in the state. It's not lost on us that Melly is another black man whose fate lies in the hands of a system that is stacked against him. So as we recount these events, we must keep all of this in mind. All right, back to the story.
Simone here from Power 5.1 with a very special guest. Melly's in the building.
And today, we're in here with my man, YNW Melly, coming straight out of Florida.
YNW Melly in the house.
And I have a special guest with me today, YNW Melly. How you doing?
How y'all doing? In the months that followed Sack and Juvie's deaths, Melly's rap career continues. He's releasing music, shooting videos, doing interviews, and he has a tour. The opening night is on February 11th, 2019 at SOB's in New York City. Now SOB's, that's a special place. It's where rappers perform right as they're about to blow up. Your first show at SOB's is a turning point. It definitely was for me, having the experience to be able to perform there, so many people, the energy, it's amazing. It's definitely a marker that lets you know that you've made it. In New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. Now, it was Melly's time to shine.
SOB soft. It's sold out right motherfucking now, so that's what we do.
Big stars showed up. Rod Wave, Lil TJ, Casanova. Melly was getting the real superstar treatment.
Hey, Melly, you know somebody put you a dog on the stage? You said what? Somebody put you a dog on the stage?
And the crowd knew every word of his biggest hits. One of the acts on the tour was Jay Green, who we heard from earlier. The next day they were in DC. Jay Green is hanging out backstage.
I just know that we was in the backstage and then a police rush. That's all I remember.
Cops come storming in, and one puts Jay Green in handcuffs. For what? He has absolutely no idea. And then something weird happens.
Some dude, I don't know, some dude just came by. He looked at me and was like, nah, that's not him. And then that was it. I ain't even asked nothing. I ain't say nothing. I just grabbed, when the police, after that, I just grabbed my stuff and went back to our hotel.
The cops were really there for Melly, but they confused him with Jay Green.
They called me and said, the police, the marshals, the U.S. Marshals got Jay Green and they think he Melly. And I'm like, what the fuck? They think he Melly? Like,
that's West Coast rapper Foolie. He was also on that tour and was friends with Melly. Melly got word that the cops was looking for him. Borland had just been arrested in Texas. The heat was coming down. So Melly called Foolie. The two of them ended up staying on the phone for hours.
I could tell he was sad because like he got his family to take care of, but at the same time I hear he got his chin up, like let me just go knock this shit out, whatever they talking about, and we're gonna keep going.
By the end of the call, Melly decided to fly back to Florida and turn himself in.
I'm like, for shit show, let's do it. Like, I love you, bro. Keep your head up, brother.
Men are in jail this morning, including an up-and-coming Florida rapper. Both men are charged in a double murder. Police are saying the two staged a crime scene to make it look like a drive-by shooting.
This season on Infamous.
Rapping just came to Melly, like, that bitch got it. He could talk about dog shit and cows. That his voice gonna make that bitch sound like a hit.
The stepdad decides he wants to choke Melly and punch him all in the face and stuff and gave him black eyes and all of that stuff. So it ended up being a domestic case.
He'll be like, Sack is me, and I'm Sack.
But Sack was openly sending Jamie, Melly's mom, threatening messages.
Sack and Juvie just got shot.
When I noticed that it was no remorse, I'm like, bro, these boys not gonna do with it.
And then he takes a pen and he puts it to his head in the shape of a gun, like he's pulling a trigger. And then he says both of them.
Yeah, everybody hates Melly now. and from where I'm from.
If Melly ends up back on the streets, then he's probably going to be one of the biggest rappers out, period, right now.
We just want somebody to tell the truth, you feel me? Break it down to us. Let us know what really happened, you feel me?
Shout out Magic Girl. I was just on your page this morning, girl. Stalking like a motherfucker. I'm like this. Shout out to Nell Bowens. Straight up, I was on your shit, Magic Girl. I swear on God, I was on your shit. Let me see. Where you at, Magic Girl? Yeah, the next day he came and shot a video with Burger. Where you at, Magic Girl? You in Booger Heights? You in Booger Heights? Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button. I'm finna go to the next episode, y'all. The fuck? So true.
This episode includes discussion of mental health issues and child abuse. Please keep this in mind when deciding if, how, and when you'll listen.
Shout out Battalion Bullet.
I was in the 4th grade.
Shout out Battalion Bullet. Shout out the Chicks 1000. Shout out Magic Girl. Shout out to Mika. Shout out to Nell Bowens. I don't even want to say that name right there. I'm just calling you 69-bit, dog. That name there, you wildin' with that one there. For real. No, talk about. Shout out Nephew for real. Shout out JJ Boys 24. Shout out Kusha. I don't want to give y'all shots out real quick here. Hey, look, check this out. Listen, we're going to have YNW Juvie Father Spoon on here for a live now. So for those of you who are just watching this and not subscribing, we're going to have him on here in a live chat, and people going to be able to ask him questions. It's going to be sometime this week. So if you ain't subscribed, you're not going to know when we go live with Spoon. So you're not going to be able to ask Juvie's father questions. You see what I'm saying? So you need to subscribe. You need to hit that like button, and you need to go subscribe to his channel. He got his own channel as well. It's called Spoons Full of Game. It's on YouTube. On YouTube, Spoons Full of Game. So go subscribe to Spoon's channel and subscribe to this channel, because some of y'all be watching but don't be subscribing. So we got something special for y'all. We going live with YNW Juvie's father Spoon, and the people who subscribe to this channel and his channel gonna be able to ask him questions. So if you want to miss out on that, fine.
You know what I'm saying? I remember this shit like it was yesterday.
This is YNW Melly in a documentary from 2018 talking about his uncle.
My uncle Ronnie, I had an uncle named Ronnie. He used to crack. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where the hell he at now.
Yeah, don't skip them ads.
To go over there after school. He had a little couch with a whole bunch of toys and shit under it. And I seen a toy gun. I was just playing with that bitch like, pew, pew.
He was watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the spy movie with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Melly tried to copy one of the action scenes and rolled onto the floor.
When I rolled, I hit my head under the couch. When I hit my head under the couch, I stayed up for a little bit. I seen some shit shining. It was a 22 revolver, a real gun. I'm a kid though, so I just walk out the house and I shot that bitch. And I couldn't hear out my ear for like a week.
I've been through Booger Heights, Magic Girl.
Fired his uncle's gun. It led to an obsession.
I was only in 4th grade, but I took that bitch everywhere. To school, I took that bitch everywhere.
As Melly got older, he rapped about guns a lot.
Bang, bang, with a pistol like I'm bang, bang. We are not the same, I bang drug. Got the Glock, pulled it out, put it to his mother, mama.
And shot them.
Another follow-up, a teenager has been arrested in Vero Beach after he fired shots near Vero Beach High School.
YNW Melly is now in jail, charged with murdering 2 men he called his friends.
But his path here is about more than just playing with guns.
Yes, I got murder on my mind.
Welcome to Infamous, the story of YNW Melly, a Spotify original podcast in partnership with Complex. I'm your host, Ace Hood. This season looks at how a violent murder tore a group of best friends in the Florida town apart, and why hip-hop's breakout star, YNW Melly, is at the center of it.
Shout out to Burger,
Based
man.
on the last episode, it's clear Melly was a kid whose charisma and talent brought him viral attention. But why did that same attention bring him constant trouble? Let's start from the beginning. This is episode 2. We Viral.
The very first time that I actually seen her, we were walking down West Avenue.
That's Melly's father, Dante Taylor, talking about Melly's mom, Jamie. When they met, Dante was about 14, and Jamie was a year and a half younger. This was in Elyria, Ohio, in the mid-1990s. Elyria is one of the type of places where it feels like everyone knows each other.
My friends knew her friends, and we walked up and down the street all day.
Dante was into Jamie immediately.
I mean, she was pretty. She was a beautiful person. And she was just nice. We would listen to like a lot of R&B, Luther Vandross, Teddy Pendergrass, and like we listened to rap too. It was back then, it was like Master P when he had first came out, Drew Hill, Cisco. That was the era right there.
So that's Melly's father's talking. That's Dante. That's his father. He said he met Jamie when he was like 13, 14, and Jamie was a year and a half younger. So they both was young. And they are from Ohio, both of them.
Dante and Jamie dated for about 2.5 years. On nights while Dante's mom was at work, Jamie would sneak over to his house. One of those nights, Jamie had some news.
She came over and she was like, I got something I got to tell you. And we sat down and she was like, look, Dante, I'm pregnant.
Weeks later, Jamie and her mom left town to live with her grandmother in Florida without Dante.
They probably left because she was out of both pants, legs down there, and they had to get her little hot self from around all them little boys she was sneaking out and going seeing.
When Jamie was 15, she gave birth to Jamel Maurice Demons, Melly.
It's terrifying. It's like I was really responsible for myself, and I was like responsible for a whole person and trying not to, mess him up.
That's Jamie from that Melly documentary.
You heard her say, and trying not to mess him up. What a poor job she did of that.
Earlier. We're still working on getting our own interview with her. When she talks about her son, she has this big, proud smile on her face.
When he was little, he was the best kid you could ask for. When I started waitressing at Chili's, he would sit right there in the little corner, drink his chocolate milk, color in his little coloring book, and half the time I didn't even know he was at work with me. He was so good.
But life in Gifford could be tough.
Gifford, it can make you or break you. There's really nothing to do. So either you got to put your head on straight and focus on your education and find something you love, or you're going to end up in the streets. Those are your options. Everybody's always trying to make it out the hood because it is the hood.
Jamie's right about the options in Gifford. The county jail is less than a 5-minute drive from Gifford's main drag. It's a place many of the characters of our story have cycled through. Petty crimes and drug charges, sometimes even for something as small as violating a curfew. But knowing all that doesn't give you the full picture of what Gifford is like. To find that out, our team went out there and saw for themselves.
Hi, I'm Shiva.
The main spot where the YNW crew all hung out is called VP, or Victory Park Apartments. It's a housing complex that's painted bright yellow and orange. There's a candy lady.
Oh, yeah, I want
A barbershop. The day our team visited, it was a group of little girls dancing in the back of a parked pickup truck.
No, it is not. Look. Hold on. Hey, whoa.
We don't have no type of go-kart places, no golfing places. We got the beach and the mall.
That's Backwood Casper. He's a rapper who moved to Gifford when he was about 10. He's now 24, a few years older than Melly. He was in a rap crew with Melly back in the day, way before YNW started.
We used to just go to the mall just to hang out, really, and go to the movies. We'll buy a ticket, you know what I'm saying? And then everybody pick this movie, and then we be deep as hell in the movies. Then we get kicked out the movies, and they gotta walk to McDonald's, like in this big ass group. Everybody got weed, we're smoking.
were fucking, you know what I'm saying? Some people got bottles, they're drunk. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just stuff like that.
Melly may have been having fun with his friends, but at home, problems were brewing. Jamie had married a new guy, Benny King Jr. Our reporter, Sean Sotero, did a little background research on Benny.
Benny had a ton of problems with the law, like some bullshit stuff.
Some of that is little
I'm
stuff.
mad at the motherfucker.
Like
my chat
driving around without a license and violating
but I'm watching
probation.
y'all on the Mac.
Those
though.
incidents
That shit
were
ain't
all
working.
years
That
before Benny
refreshing
became
shit
Melly's
and all that.
stepfather. And once that
shit ain't
happened,
working.
things were okay for a little while. Until June 25th, 2011.
Benny was actually arrested for child abuse. And Melly actually had to move out of the house.
That's when we come back.
I'm watching y'all chats on my Mac, but that shit ain't showing up on my phone. I don't know what the fuck going on. I'm mad as fuck though, but I'm still checking y'all out though.
Welcome back. This next story happens when Jamie and Melly had been living with Jamie's new husband Benny for about 5 years. Here's what Melly told the cops about that night when he was 12 years old. Please be advised, we're about to discuss sensitive material pertaining to violence against a child. Discretion is advised. Sometime between 6 and 7 o'clock, Benny gets upset at Melly for stealing an iPhone. So Benny grabs a stick and just starts hitting Melly wherever he can. His back, his legs, his chest, his neck. Melly somehow grabs the stick and manages to snap it in half. He tries to run away, but Benny grabs him, lifts him up by his neck, and starts hitting him in the face and in his side. Then Benny takes a knuckle and starts digging into Melly's right eye. That's what Melly said happened. Benny also talked to the cops. In his version, only the stolen iPhone is the same. He said that he was trying to punish Melly for stealing the phone by hitting him with a belt, but Melly fought back, so Benny had to hold on to him. And those injuries around his neck, well, that same day, Melly had been at a party with one of those bounce houses. Benny said he probably got them there. Either way, the injuries were so bad that Melly ended up in the hospital. There's nothing on record about Jamie's reaction to the situation. Our reporter, Sean, tried to reach her.
Hello, I'm looking for Jamie King. My name is Sean Sotero. I'm a reporter from Complex, hoping to speak to Jamie. Please.
No luck. But Jamie's mother told Dante all about this incident at the time.
Stepdad decides he wants to choke Melly and punch him all in the face and stuff and gave him black eyes and all of that stuff. So it ended up being a domestic case.
The sheriff's office put out a warrant for Benny with a charge of child abuse. While the case played out, Benny was barred from having any contact with his stepson. Around that time, Melly went to live with his grandma.
Melly was going through it at that time. He felt like, you know, he had kind of been neglected a little bit. His mom had just kind of like pushed it off on Melly and made it seem like Melly had done something wrong, but really it wasn't Melly.
Melly also feels a little bit abandoned, that like there was this period of time where Jamie chose her husband over her son and like sent Melly to live somewhere else. It was kind of like, well, if I can't be around both my husband and my son, you know, my son's got to go. And so it seems like Melly's also like,
do y'all hear what they say
there's
she chose?
some pain over that.
Do y'all
Melly doesn't really talk about the incident with Benny publicly. But when he was 15, Melly posted on Facebook about it.
Do y'all hear that? They said that Jamie pretty much chose Benny King over Melly. Here goes the abandonment issues. You see what I'm saying? Here goes the abandonment issues. You see? And then when people ask, you know, listen, I done seen these type of relationships plenty of times in the hood, bro. People love and hate their parents at the same time. And that seems like what's going on here. You have your good days, you have your bad days. The days where because we had dysfunctional families, we had dysfunctional parents. You see what I'm saying? And Jamie, I'm saying we, because my mom was dysfunctional as well as my father. You see what I'm saying? And my abuse was different type of abuse than he got. I didn't get the beating type of abuse. You know what I'm saying? I got the environmental type of abuse, just being around a bunch of shit you ain't supposed to be around as a kid. But he got, from what they talk about here, he got the physical abuse from his stepfather, and then he got the mental and emotional abuse from his mama, from her abandoning him or making him feel abandoned. No, fuck that. She abandoned him. If you're gonna let a man do that to him, I don't care if he did steal a fucking cell phone. You don't let nobody do that to your child. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say this too, not to defend her, but I'm gonna say this too. A lot of it probably came from, or some of it probably came from her upbringing and the fact that she was such a young mother. You know what I mean? So, but I'm not justifying it. I'm just showing y'all the whole dynamic. You feel what I'm saying? Hey.
Quote, abusive stepfather. He also wrote, I'm always angry because I was abused as a child. Years after the incident, Jamie herself would make a post on Facebook accusing Benny of, quote, putting your hands on me in front of everybody.
See? You see? You see.
Melly's challenges continued from there. In 7th grade, he was committed to a mental health treatment center. He talked about it in an interview.
I kept bringing knives to school and shit. I fucked around and pulled one out on the motherfuckers in lunch. So you pulled a knife out on someone at school? Yeah, then I did some terrorist type shit. They were like, what the fuck? You said terrorist? Yeah. I was crazy. I was crazy. I was about to slice my neck, slice her neck, fuck it. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, look, let me tell y'all something, too. I got on good accord. This shit is cap. When I mean cap, I'm not saying the situation is cap. What I'm saying is the mental hospital that he's alleged to have went to was a fucking behavioral school that other fucking kids went to too. Juvie went to the same fucking behavioral school. A couple more of those kids down there went to the same fucking behavioral school. So when they try to gas it up and say he went to a mental hospital, he went to a behavioral school. When you get, listen, check this out. I ain't gonna put nobody business out there, but I have a personal experience with this type of shit. I never went to behavior school, but I'm just saying, I know someone who went to a behavior school, and I'm telling you, and pretty much a similar same situation that Melly's describing. Brought some shit to school and yada, 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 this and that there, right? So, but I'm hearing when you talking about this mental hospital and all this shit, I'm telling you, they telling me it wasn't no fucking mental hospital. It was a behavioral school for him getting in trouble in school. So I just want to bring that out to you.
Yeah, then they just sent me to the crazy home.
Melly says this was just one of several times he was sent to a mental health treatment center against his will.
If he got something, well, I ain't never heard
of. We don't know the official diagnoses for Melly beyond what he said in the interviews. But as any fan of his music knows, Melly claims to have many different personalities. One of his biggest singles is called Mixed Personalities, and he named his album Melly vs. Melvin after two of those personalities. That condition, dissociative identity disorder, is strongly linked to childhood abuse. When Melly gets to high school, he's hustling, selling Jordans, designer belts, and iPhones.
My job was stealing everybody's iPhone around school and jailbreaking them bitches. I make them bitches mine, and then I sell them bitches.
That's Melly describing his scam to the YouTube interview show, Montreality. At 16, Melly was constantly posting on Facebook about iPhones, sometimes selling them for $200, offering to jailbreak them for $30. All the posts are still there as of this recording.
Every nigga I robbed from Gifford called my mama. And that's fact. You niggas call my mama. I could put up the phone off on you bitch ass niggas, man. Hey, you niggas was scared of me and you called my mama.
All this troublemaking turned into a lucky break. In detention, Melly gets close to Casper.
Principal literally sat me and Melly down next to each other. They said, y'all two have the most referrals in the school. And we like, fuck you, eat a dick.
That chance meeting would jumpstart Melly's rap career.
The room, we couldn't even see each other. It was like, I'm sitting looking at the wall, but we just so bad, we want to get kicked out of this room. So we just go to beating on the desk, he beating, everybody rapping. It's just a vibe in there. It really ain't a place for bad kids because you just get more bad in there. You feel me?
Eventually, Melly goes over to Casper's house. He sees that his new friend has a studio. Before long, they form a crew, Ghost Gang.
Rapping just came to Melly, like that bitch got it.
Before long, they form a crew,
real song,
Ghost Gang.
that bitch rapping just came to Melly, like that bitch got it.
Before long, they form a crew,
Real song,
Ghost Gang.
rapping just came to Melly, like that bitch got it. I got a fucking computer full of hundreds of Melly songs, and you listen to the song, they're all female songs. He's not rapping about murder on my mind and all this gangster stuff. You know what I'm saying? He was always a lover boy. Like, he always had the females. He had the you know what I'm saying, the beautiful smile. Love music. It was always about, like, you know what I'm saying, telling the females, keep it 1,000 and all this, you know what I'm saying, corny shit.
Say that you love me and how you gon' ride. Say that I'm special and one of a kind. Say that you trust me and you keep it real. Not even worth.
Over time, Melly's music got darker and tougher. And when Ghost Gang split up, Melly reconnected to the people who would eventually form Young Nigga World, YNW, a crew that's still around in Gifford today.
Oh yeah, this the gang, yeah, this the whole squad. This the original YNW, you feel me?
The infamous team met the squad in Gifford.
YNW, AG Trill, Av, Baby.
YNW, OL Greasy, you feel me? Yeah.
Black Joker, JOKA.
Remember what Jay Green told us last time about how the YNW name started?
We ain't had nobody tell us how to get money or how to rap or how to ride a bike, nothing. So we felt like we had to make our own way.
That lack of guidance made life challenging, but it was a challenge that kids like Melly met with creativity. They expressed themselves with music, with fashion, with social media. Even in the scams they ran, they were creative. YNW was a pretty big crew, but remember, there were 4 core members that play a part in our story. Melly, of course, he was a standout talent. The kid who was a little bit weird, but who everyone knew could be a great artist.
In my head, it was like God was just like, you can do more than that.
Christopher had been Melly's best friend since they were little kids. Christopher went by the nickname Juvie. He was also a part of the crew. Juvie was special.
Just to be with him is crazy because they'll never think I'll be here. We all will be here, you know what I mean?
A lot of the kids in Gifford looked up to him. Everyone respected him. He was a real one.
Like, Juvie, that's a real ass nigga. Like, Juvie was really like everybody, like, that kept everyone together. Like, we going to his house. Like, anything going on, we at his house with it.
Portland Henry, a.k.a. YNW Bortland, wasn't really a rapper. He was quiet. He was the light-skinned dude who ladies loved.
I told you he was the driver.
And he knew how to dress.
I told you.
He would eventually run the crew's merch business. And lastly, Anthony Williams. He went by Sack Chaser.
Chick, fucking the comment. Shout out to Thug and Future.
Sack Chaser started hanging out with everyone in middle school after coming to Gifford from Atlanta. He became close with Melly very quickly, the protector of the group at over 6 feet tall.
He always motivated us. He always had faith in a nigga, straight positive vibe only, you feel me?
Sack speak his mind, like, he speak real shit, you know what I'm saying? Sack, oh yeah, that's my nigga though, that's a real ass nigga though, you feel me?
Boy, I want you to don't be playing, boy, get your ass spanking, boy, got the 30, yeah, my 11, coming straight up, boy, they gon' get it.
The very first song that the YNW crew put out was called YNW Freestyle. It dropped on SoundCloud in the summer of 2015. Melly talked about it in a radio interview years later.
Like my first real song, it was it's called YNW Freestyle. Now that one was hot. How'd that start? It was like, made it through the struggle, got it out the muscle. Wanted Gucci on my buckle, so I had to hustle. Stomach growling like a lion. I was really hungry. Ain't nobody wanna help me. Got it on my lonely. Jalen, that's my brother. We like rich on me and thugger.
As the crew got tighter, they started to make more songs. Melly shared them on Facebook. He had already built up a little audience by constantly posting photos and memes, flirting with girls, and generally clowning around.
She's a thotty, fucking all of my niggas at the party.
In fact, Melly was so good at Facebook that his friends throw a term around when looking back on that era. Facebook famous. And so Facebook It's where Melly's first truly big musical breakthrough happens.
Girl, you know I love it when I'm next to you. Riding through the 772. The feelings that I got for you is true. So baby, let me cater to you.
In this video that Melly posted on Facebook in 2016, he's singing a new song a cappella. He's deep in concentration, facing the wall. Every once in a while, he turns his head towards the camera and smiles. The whole thing only lasts 2 minutes, but it's captivating.
I actually like 772. When I first heard that song, that was before all this shit really popped off like this. That was one of my favorite songs of Melly, 772.
Melly called the song 772 Love, Gifford's area code. 5 minutes after he posted the video, boiling comments, going viral. And he was right. People loved it. So Melly wanted to make a real version of the song with a beat.
I had hit him up. I was like, hey, like, are you the rapper that people telling me about that's blowing up right now?
That's Smoke exclusive, an inspiring producer at the time from the same part of Florida. He hooked Melly up with a beat, and from there, it was on.
You know I love it when I'm next to you. Riding through the 772.
Damn, he fucked it up.
About a month after Melly first sang 772 Love, Melly and Jay Green made another viral Facebook video.
We made Florida Water in my mom's house. In my room, I had like a little studio set up. I had like nailed this carpet on the wall, and I put a mic there. So I used like after school, like I ain't want to pay for no studio time, like cause I ain't want to be like no rapper, you know what I'm saying? So I just like did it like on my free time, like when I was bored and stuff. So I made this song, and then Melly came over one day, and he got on the song, and then we put it on live. And I mean that video still be circling around with me and him.
Listen, it was the melodies, yo. It was the way he could come up with melodies. He was very good to great with melodies. You know what I mean? Like he was very. I mean, he's a decent rap writer as well. But I'm talking about the way he came up with melodies and was actually was able to sing the melodies as well. Was one of his biggest gifts. Now I'm gonna say this. I bet you if they sit Melly down and they play him a video of all of these times in his life, you can't tell me he ain't gonna cry. You can't tell me if they sit him down and play him a video of these times with his niggas when they was young and they was making this music and they was experiencing these things that they was experiencing, the success, the popularity, the journey. You can't tell me he won't cry. I'm watching this shit and I'm about to cry. Well, listening to it and I'm about to cry. You can't tell me he won't cry. You can't tell me he don't feel some sort of I shouldn't have did that. You can't tell me. There's no way in the world. I don't give a fuck unless he a psychopath, which I don't know, but I'm just saying this. I feel emotional watching, listening to what they was going through and the look, listening to the camaraderie, the love, the joy, the you know what I mean? Like the whole experience. I'm able to put myself in their shoes while they're going through these experiences just by listening to it. I can imagine him actually being replayed these events and he actually lived through them. You can't tell me he won't cry. He might cry for different reasons. He might not cry for the same reason that we thinking he had cry for. But I'm saying it's a bunch of reasons for him to cry when looking back on what his life could have been, what it was, and what it is now. I'm just saying.
and my niggas at the top of the world, you did. Me and my niggas at the top of the world, I said.
The crew was getting noticed. Melly was the standout talent, and his biggest booster at this point was his mom, Jamie.
In the Urban Appeal, get your free Melly shirts.
She saw his potential, wanted him to be a star. She showed up to the video shoots and dedicated her entire Facebook feed to promoting her son. Jamie seemed very comfortable with the attention, even sought it. Anywhere.
Real cases before a real judge.
Remember Melly's stepdad, Benny? In 2015, Benny showed up on an episode of Judge Mathis.
Defendant Benny King Jr. said
The segment was supposed to involve just Benny and his ex Brandy as they battled over child support for their daughter. But Jamie somehow forced her way in front of the camera.
Who are you?
I'm Jamie King.
Did you help with the child support?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Jamie used that same assertiveness to help her son, constantly posting about him, encouraging people to come to his video shoots.
I told you she wanted to be on TV.
But in a small town like Gifford, standing out can cause problems. Casper talked about the cops in Gifford.
I hate them bitches. When you see, that's what I hate about being around here. I hate them bitches. When you see that car, them tail lights, or you see that side, that green and white, you just like, your stomach get hurt. Like you don't even gotta have nothing on. You don't have no drugs on. You don't have to have. You don't want to deal with them.
Melly got harassed so much that he often talked about leaving Gifford to get away from it, moving to Atlanta or Miami or even to London. But the cops weren't Melly's only problem.
He could have did all that.
As he and his crew got more successful, they also attracted more haters. Here's director Mandon Lovett, who made that documentary about Melly.
We were sort of walking back to our cars in the parking lot.
This story happened right after one of their interviews.
And I noticed like a car full of people, I don't know, just kind of give us weird looks. I didn't really pay much attention to it. But they had told me the next day when I met them in Miramar that like some guys had followed them. And like they got into like a sort of like a yelling match with some guys. There was this running theme with them that the people, especially the older kids in that town, were very, very jealous and had a lot of animosity for the success that they had. And I tried to ask them about it, and they were just like, man, they just chalked it up to just like haters. Like I told you guys, those guys, like, just deal with that. These dudes hate us.
Haters on one side, cops on the other. That's a tough path to walk. Sometimes you stumble. And during his time in high school, Melly had one very big stumble.
A teenager has been arrested in Vero Beach after he fired shots near Vero Beach High School. It happened yesterday just before 2:30. Vero Beach police tell us the 16-year-old male pointed a firearm at 3 other males.
This was a big deal that made headlines all around the county. Melly shot at a couple guys, students at his high school. Casper remembers what happened that day. He and his friends were at the trap.
We don't know what the fuck going on. We got half a pound of weed in here. We got motherfucking lean, pistols. But this ain't our shit though, you know what I'm saying? This ain't our shit, this ain't our house. This a basic bitch house.
And then he hears a gunshot. Next thing he knows, Melly runs inside.
I see his ass. I'm like, I said, what the fuck happened? He ain't say nothing to me. He ain't tell me nothing.
Then the cops bang on the door.
Boom, 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 boom. Is there male demons in here?
Casper quickly figures out that someone snitched on Melly to the cops. He and his friend tell the cops they don't know anything.
So when we saw my ID, they let us leave. Next thing you know, we chilling. We see Melly coming out all, you know what I'm saying, all handcuffed up and shit. We're like, damn.
The county sheriff's office arrested Melly. Melly talked to Mandon, the documentary director, about what happened.
He wanted to scare some kids. Again, it was like the result of bullying. I think he was getting he didn't like the way he was being treated. He decided that he wanted to just show whoever was doing that to him that he wasn't to be played with.
Luckily, no one was hurt. But it happened so close to Vero Beach High School that the place briefly went on lockdown because of it.
It was a good 2-3 football fields away from the school. It was down the road by the chicken wing place. But you know how the media makes things. Everybody's talking about it through the town. They thinking he shot in the school.
Melly commented on the news on Facebook. He linked to an article about the school having to go on lockdown because of him. His only comment was the word, "Oh." Despite that I don't care attitude, Melly faced really serious charges. Discharging a firearm in public, aggravated battery, aggravated assault. These charges would ultimately get him locked up for a year. But while he was behind bars, he made the most important creative breakthrough of his entire career.
I literally woke up in the jail cell and I like, wake up in the morning, I got murder on my mind.
That's next time on Infamous, the story of YNW Melly. If you or someone you know is struggling, you aren't alone. Visit Spotify.com/resources for information.
That's crazy, yo. That's crazy. Let's go to episode 3.
White in collaboration with Neon Hum. Engineering done by William Smith. Original music by Morning. A lyric pops into YNW Melly's head. He's about 16, spending a year in jail for shooting at some high school classmates.
So he did a year when he was 16 for the shooting close to the high school.
In the morning, I got murder on my mind.
The lyric becomes a song about shooting and killing somebody. What it looks like. What it feels like.
Yellow tape around his body, it's a fucking homicide. His face is on a t-shirt and his family's traumatized. I didn't even mean to shoot him, he just caught me by surprise.
Melly thinks what he got is good. Everyone in the detention center loves it. Inmates, guards, they keep asking him to perform it over and over again. His entrepreneurial spirit kicks in.
4 Rice Krispies.
Here, Melly's talking to the site Say Cheese TV.
So wait, that was paying you what? Wait, go back.
He starts charging people to hear it.
Rice Krispies, bitch, with the blue rapper. Everybody in that bitch like, murder on my mind.
Melly called his friend back home. He sung his new song over the phone.
Shout out Beautiful Ashes.
I just felt like he was just becoming a new person.
That's his friend, the rapper Jay Green.
You know how you can evolve from just growing up, from being a kid you to being an older you? That's just how he felt. Like a lot of things was going on, him building up to becoming a new him. To me, it felt like he was letting his old self go and merge into his new person.
Who the fuck think like that?
Melly had a creative burst during his jail stint. He wrote other songs, but Murder on My Mind is YNW Melly's legacy. It's the first song most people think about when his name comes up, and the song that's been used against him ever since it came out.
My opinion of the song when I first heard it was like, did this guy seriously kill somebody and make a song about it?
Rap always has the reputation of its music from the streets. So the fact that this young kid is saying that this is what he's done, people really wanted to believe it.
I want to say one thing, right? So, listen, let me tell y'all something. I got a lot of music. I done wrote a lot of songs. I can write slow songs, fast songs, rap songs, like singing songs. Like, I'm gonna let y'all hear some of my music one day whenever I fucking feel time to do it. I just ain't felt the time to do it. But I'm telling you, I'm fucking really good. But for real. Like, I fucking definitely could have made it if I'd had more money and more resources in the music. So I kind of know. I'm not saying. I ain't gonna say I was on the Melly level, but I'm telling you, I was on his ass, bro. I'm telling you, I was that fucking good, bro. Still is, you know what I mean? It's not that long ago. Like, I ain't capping. I ain't lied to y'all yet. I'm telling y'all, if I tell you I'm good at something, I ain't good at a lot of shit. But rapping, writing songs, shit like that, I was good at it. I'm talking about real good. To where anywhere I went, all right, I'm gonna post a picture with me and DJ Khaled. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna post y'all a picture of me and DJ Khaled. I'm telling y'all, like, I was moving around. I was decent, right? But I just want to say this when it comes to people, when people want to know how does Melly think like he think to make the song Murder on My Mind. Most artists, I want to break this down to y'all. Most artists, most of them are, I want to put the right word here, crazy. I'm gonna just say it. Most artists are crazy, and when I mean crazy to the point to where you have to take the great artists are able to take their mind to places and that the normal person doesn't take their mind. That is why they can make those songs so vividly about certain situations that most people wouldn't think about, or some people may go through, but don't think of that. But most people don't think about. You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, when I mean most artists, I'm talking about any art. I'm talking about music. I'm talking about fucking painting. Vincent Van Gogh cut off his own fucking ear. I'm talking about rock stars. I'm talking about any of them. I'm just being real. You have to think outside the box if you're going to be a great artist. And great artists have the ability to think outside the box. I made a lot of songs, not on murdering my friends and shit like that, but the bars that I was able to come up with was because I could think outside the box. You see what I'm saying? Like I had a bar, I said, Pico to Goku, what a team. I'm just saying, ho, it's wings on my shoes. I was lying by staying. Do you get it? Pico to Goku, what a team. I'm just saying, ho, it's wings on my shoes. I was lying by staying. You hear what I'm saying? Pico to Goku, other team. Goku is a saying. I'm just saying, ho, it's wings on my shoes. What do sayings do? They fly. I was lying by staying. You see what I'm saying? That's just a bar. That's just one bar. But I'm just telling you the shit that I used to talk about. And I'm just trying to show you how, as an artist, you have to be able to think outside the box. So when we pay attention to Melly making a song on Murder on My Mind, I just want y'all to understand that great artists, this is what they do. It's like a thin line. Them bitches could be in a crazy house, or them bitches could be on stage winning a Grammy. It's a thin line. That's why a lot of them go crazy. That's why a lot of them OD, and the drugs add to it. When you creating something, drugs add to it. That's why most artists on some kind of drug. Rock stars, rappers, singers, all of them. It helps with the creativity. I'm just telling you, it does. Now, some people need it, some people don't, some people abuse it, it takes some people out. But a strong artist, a great artist needs to be able to think outside the box. You have to be different. So I'm just saying, this is probably his talent.
It's Mr. Melly, the kid with murder on his mind himself. What y'all doing? What?
Welcome to Infamous, the story of YNW Melly, a Spotify original podcast in partnership with
Shout out to Mika. I told you I was
your
doing
host.
this shit. I got a lot of balls, man.
This season looks at how a violent murder tore a group of best friends in the Florida town apart, and why hip-hop's breakout star, YNW Melly, is at the center of it. This is episode 3, for entertainment purposes. We're going to take a close look at Melly's biggest hit, Murder on My Mind, and how it came to be, and how a couple years after it came out, it had a surprising second life, and people mistook the song's lyrics for reality.
Prince, Kanye, and Melvin, Gemini, they play out like a movie before the project out. Yeah, that's crazy, but I would love his music for real, most definitely.
Technology is changing fast. Top companies in almost...
I have to get blood work done for my annual physical. I'm in the back. So hopefully they get it in one stick for real. They go think about killing folks. What the fuck? Yeah, I ain't saying I think about that type of shit, but I'm just saying I kind of get it. I kind of get it. I kind of understand what made him great. It was the, you know what I mean? I'm telling you, that's what made him great, the thinking outside the box. The Murder on My Mind is a great fucking song. I just wish he wouldn't have fucking did the shit.
Melly was out of jail, and his first order of business was to record the songs he'd written while he was locked up. For Murder on My Mind, Melly went to his friend Casper for help, probably because Casper's stepdad had a recording studio.
My stepdad made the beats of Murder on My Mind, the original.
This isn't the version of the song that we know today.
He sung it, he didn't even rap it like... He did it way slower, like it's like, that's why that one never got dropped, because everybody was like, damn, you gotta say it faster, like he wanted it so slow.
Casper told us that him and Melly even shot a video.
We shot an original video for Murder on My Mind in the woods. Like he's chasing me with an AK, grabs me with my head, throws me in the bushes, making crazy faces and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it never got edited up. It never got finished up.
The original version of this song is now basically impossible to find, but you can hear it playing in the background of this Facebook video. It's from about a month after Melly got out of jail. In this video, he's in a car with Sack Chaser and another friend. Melly's looking directly at the camera and singing along to his new song. Melly was proud of the track and boasted about it online.
Everybody want to hear that Murder on My Mind. But that Murder on My Mind gonna be a hit though. That's why I'm waiting like. Murder on, hey, that's some shit. They telling me to sing it. I might have you drop a real video. Nah, right now I gotta be dressed up like a murderer. Kill him.
But he eventually decided to switch up the beat. He had just worked with Smoke exclusive to find a catchy beat for 772 Love. So he went back to the young, quiet producer.
Just by the preview that he had uploaded on Facebook, I really liked the song because it had got stuck in my head.
Smoke says he had a beat already in a stash that he thought could work.
I started singing the Murder on My Mind beat to the beat I had made, and it actually fit.
He sent it to Melly. When Melly first heard it, he was already in the studio. He told Smoke that beat was the one. When Melly started recording the song, he called his friend Jay Green.
That's me on the phone when he say, "Hold on, bro, I'm in the studio."
Yeah, I'm at the studio. Hold up, though.
Just 4 months after being released from jail, where he came up with the song, Murder on My Mind was ready to go. He started to tease it on Facebook.
I dropped Murder, boy. That bill won't go viral like more than 772.
And on March 4th, 2017, it finally dropped.
Wake up in the morning, I got murder on my mind. AK-47s, Mac 11s, Glocks and 9s, and all these pussies.
First, it was the East one.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something. It's just fucking sad. Like, listen, listen, that's what I'm saying. Like, listen, bro, I'm gonna say this. I definitely understand. Straight up, nobody's striking shit here. Listen, I'm gonna say this. I definitely understand the emotional connection that his fans have with him. You feel what I'm saying? I definitely get it as far as like with the music, definitely get it. Music is very powerful, y'all. It's very powerful. What they say, the devil was the minister of music. You see what I'm saying? The Pied Piper had all the children following them. Listen, music is very fucking powerful. It evokes an emotional reaction inside you. I can actually go back to where I was in my life when I hear certain songs. If I hear a fucking song, I can tell you exactly what I was or doing in that time frame when that song came out. So if you listening to Melly's music, you can clearly fucking feel the connection. You feel what I'm saying? Like, the Murder on My Mind song was a hit. I would have, me personally, remember I told y'all that Laffy Taffy shit, I would have missed on that? Well, I wouldn't have missed on this one. I would have known when I heard that song, if I would have been anybody around him, that was a hit song. I would have fucking knew that. That's why those people in the juvenile jail with him was wanting him to re-sing that song. Think about it. They liked that song before the bitch even had a beat to it. That's how powerful and good and great he was at what he was doing and how good that song was. When to put the beat to it, that motherfucker just meshed. It's like this. It's like, I'm telling you, the beat go right with that motherfucker, bro. I'm telling you, that's a great song. Now, the fucked up part about it is that the art imitated life. It's like it fucking came true. Now, I don't know if this is speaking things into existence, the power of the tongue, or whatever the fuck, whatever exactly. Shout out, it's Aaron's Way Magic. I don't fucking know. But what I'm saying is, my God, for him to make that song and for him to actually live that song out in real life, it's almost surreal. It's almost like this can't be happening. This can't be real. This is a dream that he just dreaming. We all in a dream, and this is really not happening. Juvie and Sack really not dead. Melly really didn't just kill his friends and made a song about the shit killing his friends before he ended up killing his friends. This can't be real. This is the whole vibe over this whole case. This cannot be real. I can imagine for the people that's actually inside of it, living it, him, the parents, the sisters, the brothers, the daddies. Like, I can only imagine how they fucking feeling living this fucking nightmare. Living this fucking song. Y'all living Murder on My Mind in real life, really. This is amazing. This is amazing. I have never seen nothing like this in hip hop. I have never seen nothing like this. And we done had some weird ass shit go on. This shit right here got to be at the top. I cannot think of not. And I know Tupac got killed, and I'm a Tupac fan and all this and that though. But this shit, I mean, as far as like the shock value and the just, I cannot believe it. He did this. God damn. He blew it, dog. Like, but god damn, dog, I wish he wouldn't have did this shit, dog. I promise you I wish he wouldn't have did this shit, dog. Damn, my nigga.
And then he uploaded it on YouTube.
Here's Smoke exclusive.
Every hour, I would always go back to see how many views they had, and it was going pretty quick.
But the high didn't last that long. Melly was on probation, which meant he had to take drug tests, and he failed one. On his 18th birthday, Melly was sentenced to about 6 months in the youth academy. It's like a cross between jail and a boarding school. Later on, Melly told an interviewer his sentence wasn't about violating probation. He thinks it was because of the attention he got for Murder on My Mind.
So you was on probation, and it was something that you said in your lyrics?
Yeah, I was on probation for the last thing I did, the little school thing.
This is him on Say Cheese TV again.
They said my piss was dirty, and then they heard my song, and they started pulling lyrics from me and all my niggas' songs and shit, and they was saying, nah, we don't send you to the program.
The Fader magazine reported that the authorities went as far as to read the second verse of Murder on My Mind out loud in court, the part that's actually about a murder. In that part of the song, Melly talks about reloading a pistol, shooting it, being covered in his victim's blood. Remember, Melly wasn't being charged with murder at the time. This is all happening way before Sack and Juvie were killed. At this time, Melly was up on a probation violation. Melly isn't the only rapper whose art has been used against him. Artists including YFN Lucci, Lil Boosie, and of course Tekashi 6ix9ine have had their music mentioned in indictments or used as evidence in a courtroom. In Maryland a few years ago, Lawrence Montague had a rap used against him in court, partly because he rapped about the same caliber of bullet as was used in the crime he was accused of. This kind of prosecution happens all the time. So, just as Melly was about to take his melodic hardcore rap into the mainstream, he was going to lose half a year. After the hearing, just before he turned himself in, Melly posted a goodbye with his mom on Facebook. But was it really a goodbye? Jail doesn't always mean a full stop for rappers. Melly's friends and family tried to keep his name out there, shot videos for his songs. Shouted him out at other rappers' shows. Whatever they could do. Melly even sold merch over the phone while he was away. Even with Melly locked up, Murder on My Mind still caught fire. So much so that he landed a new manager, a Kodak Black affiliate named Track. Track got Melly a deal with 300 Entertainment. 300 guided the careers of stars like Young Thug, Migos, and T Grizzly. Melly was the perfect fit. Like Young Thug, he had an ear for melody, a unique sense of style, and songs that pushed the limit.
Me and Glock all on your instrumental. I kill a nigga and it really one coincidental. Stop all that flat shit, you just be on that acting shit. No, I ain't with no captain shit, and I ain't no real.
So at the end of the day, Melly's career didn't miss a beat. By mid-2018, Melly was out of lockup. 300 was making him a priority. He got serious press with places like XXL, Fader, Genius, and No Jumper. And everywhere he went, every show he did, people were losing it to Murder on My Mind.
My opinion of the song when I first heard it was like, did this guy seriously kill somebody and make a song about it?
That's No Jumper host Adam 22.
The Murder on My Mind song just felt so incredibly specific, like it really was kind of tapping in on the series of emotions that you might actually feel after doing something like that.
That was the thing about Murder on My Mind. It sounded so real. It blew up while Melly was serving time, and everyone from YouTube commentators to hip-hop insiders wondered, was it real?
I was pretty sure he was in prison for attempted murder at that time, or something along those lines where they were trying to put a murder on him. So, yeah, I was just pretty shocked by how real the whole situation seemed.
Adam 22 made the same assumption a lot of people did, that Melly serving time had something to do with what his songs were about. But it didn't. Melly was in on a probation violation against gun-related charges, yeah, but not for murder. Still, it all helped build the hype. Murder on My Mind kept growing as the year went on. In August, it got put on a mixtape called I Am You. Murder on My Mind was a hot song. And as the months passed, Melly kept getting bigger. Towards the end of 2018, Sack and Juvie were killed.
We are following some breaking news right now out of Miramar, where 2 people are dead following a shooting.
But Melly didn't really slow down. At the start of 2019, he dropped the catchy as hell song with Kanye West.
I think I got mixed personalities. This bitch switched up my whole mentality.
And then, Melly was charged with the murder of his 2 crew members. Every article, every TV news segment about his arrest had a moment like this.
Ironically, one of his biggest hits on YouTube is titled Murder on My Mind.
Known for one of his biggest hits, Murder on My Mind, now the rapper is being accused of that.
Demons is best known for one of his biggest hits, Murder on My Mind, but it is the up-and-coming rapper now facing murder charges.
People who hadn't heard of Melly thought that he'd written a song about killing Juvie and Sack. Keep in mind that the song had been out for almost 2 years.
I remember going on social media at the time and being like, guys, check the timeline. You're a bit off. He's not bragging about his alleged acts on this song. The song actually predated it.
But the truth never gets in the way of a good story. And that's when the song went from hot to scorching. Even people who already knew the song began to hear it in a new way. The rapper behind Murder on My Mind, accused of murder, it was almost too perfect.
The first take of it was a good song.
Here's music journalist Somia Krishnamurthy, who you heard in our first episode.
I could tell that this guy had some grasp of melodies, and like so many artists, that he was really kind of steeped in street culture, and he wanted to be a voice for those who are voiceless. And that very much kind of gravitated me towards the song. To be fully honest, I mean, once he had the actual charges against him, that song is so much more haunting, so much more poignant.
Right before Melly turned himself in for Sack and Juvie's murders, the song was hanging out towards the bottom of the Billboard Hot 100 chart. And just 2 weeks later, Murder on My Mind shot up to number 14.
The fact that this young kid from Gifford, Florida is saying that this is what he's done, people really wanted to believe it.
Remember where hip-hop was when this happened?
We were still dealing with the ramifications of Bobby Shmurda, Tekashi 6ix9ine, Chief Keef. Like, people remember when these very young artists were pretty bold about some of the acts that they've committed or allegedly committed.
But Melly isn't like Keef or even Tekashi. This was a kid who blended melodic pop of his youth with the violent stories in hardcore rap. Murder on My Mind isn't about Sack and Juvie, but just like you shouldn't use lyrics to prosecute, you shouldn't use them to exonerate neither.
So what they're saying is, even though he made Murder on My Mind before Sack and Juvie were killed, it happened he dropped it actually before they were killed as well. But when he actually ended up allegedly doing these crimes or killing his friends, it boosted the damn song because now people felt like, I mean, it gave it a story, a mystique of a truth to it, because the guy who fucking sang Murder on My Mind actually fucking allegedly fucking really did kill his fucking friends. You see what I'm saying? So the story was just too juicy. I had to make it juicy for him. Shout out to Rollo. I had to make it juicy for him. The story was just too fucking juicy for the public not to eat up, and they rolled that propelled the song. On top of it was a great song, but the actual art, life imitating art part of the story propelled the song to number 4 on the Billboard charts. And can you imagine, actually performing and moving around and doing all of these things, and you have alleged to have fucking actually killed your fucking friends? All this time, Melly moving around, doing shows, getting hanging out with King Von, Dirk Nim, Trippie Redd, T Grizzly, Young Thug, Fetty Wap, Lil Uzi Vert. You know what I'm saying? He hanging out with all these motherfucking celebrities, but with a case looming over your head that people feel like the law feels like, the law in Broward County, your friends' families, your other friends, a lot of your other friends down in Gifford, Florida feel like that you actually killed Sack and Juvie. But you still moving around, dropping VVs in your mouth from Johnny Dang. You going, you know what I mean? You living your dream out. You going forward with your life, shooting videos, doing songs with Kanye West, all type of shit. But all while this going on, you got the cloud over your head that the police is building a case on you because they feel like you killed your friends. And at the same time now, you remember, he was also very instrumental in the funerals, paying money for the boys to get buried, lying and say you're gonna show up to this funeral, don't show up, picking the clothes out for Juvie to be laid to rest in, throwing money around to certain family members, your mama running damage control, telling certain folks not to talk to the police, not to give no statements, not to talk to the media. And at the same time, you moving around like a celebrity, but you got that over your head. Damn.
When we come back, Melly introduces the world to a whole new side of himself.
So obviously there's Melly, but then is Melvin like an alter ego, or what is?
Alter ego is a person.
Okay.
You got mixed personality, it's another person.
Right. Okay.
That's after the break.
Damn. Crazy. That's crazy, y'all. Crazy.
Easy, Yo Gotti, Porter, Spanger, Migos. Just a couple of motherfuckers that I know.
It's summer 2018. Juvie and Sack are still alive. One day, Gabriel was working the City Girls video shoot. A member of Melly's management team came up to him.
And he said, man, I got this kid, he in jail or something like that. I was kind of halfway listening to him.
And this guy from Melly's team asked, could Gabe shoot a video for Melly's song, Murder on My Mind? It was already out, and it was getting pretty big.
And I Googled it on YouTube, and the song already had like 8 or 9 million views on the audio itself. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. He has a fan base, and I'm down.
It wasn't just the numbers, though. Gabriel says it reminded him of another song.
It felt sincere and just kind of spoke to me because I'm 42. And so I remember for the first time hearing the Ghetto Boys. I remember hearing Scarface, last week, Halloween fell on the weekend. Me and Ghetto Boys was trick-or-treating.
This year, Halloween fell on the weekend. Me and Ghetto Boys are trick-or-treating.
Like, I remember how I felt when I heard My Mind Is Playing Tricks on Me. And it felt like the same way I felt when I heard My Mind Is Playing Tricks on Me. And I hadn't heard
Melly was compared to Thugger.
Gabriel's vision for the Murder on My Mind video was dark. He wanted to make it like a horror movie, like The Shining. The shoot started.
And action, turn around.
And Gabriel was mid-take when the star walked onto the set for the first time.
He just kind of walks into the shot like, "What's up, man? I'm here. What we doing?" And it was just like, boom, Melly. I turn around, this little guy, you know, this little kid, this baby, you know, and I was like, okay, well, give me a minute. I'm in the middle of something. And he said, all right, cool. And so he just kind of went over there and hung out with his friends.
This video shoot was Melly's entry into the big leagues. It was expensive and high concept.
His eyes was getting big because he had never shot on a real camera. So we shot on an Alexa, and we had anamorphic lenses, and we had a crew.
Melly wasn't intimidated by all the fancy equipment and the big crew. Just the opposite. When Gabriel was shooting a creepy scene with an actress dressed as a nun, Melly had ideas.
Put the gun in your hand. Pull the gun out the pussy. And I'm like, hold on. Okay, I like your ideas, but you're confusing her. Either I'm gonna tell her something or you gonna tell her something. He adapted quick.
While Melly's more extreme concepts with the nun didn't work out, his ideas of having her hold a gun actually did.
I didn't envision the nun being a bad person, but it actually lends to the story, you know, like they have capacity to kill someone as well.
Another one of the video's most powerful moments is when the murder victim switches from being one of his friends to Melly himself. Gabriel says that was all Melly too.
I said, that's brilliant. And so I was like, come on, keep it coming. He's like that Kanye kind of artist, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who's like, you know, any artist that does that to me ends up being huge.
Melly's mixed personalities were emerging way before his song with Kanye West. It was months after the video shoot when Melly started talking publicly about how he has different personalities.
So let me explain something to y'all. How they describe Melly on a video set, that's the same way I am. Like, I done had videos directed and shit like that, but I'm hands-on like a motherfucker. When the shit going down, I might not be the one who make the overall video idea, but while that video going down and it's my video and I get an idea, I'm gonna jump right in there and tell the director or tell the people who acting out, whatever they acting out in my video, what to do. I didn't know like that's a thing. I just did the shit naturally. But I guess it's a thing. You know what I mean? Like I just did the shit naturally, and I never was afraid to do a video either.
Different people inside of him with different names. One of them is Melly.
All right, Melly is loving, genuine, turned up, happy. Michael Jackson.
And the other is Melvin.
I only let him out at nighttime, and I need to stop doing that. Melvin is just like, once you play with Melly, Melvin just don't like that. Melvin on your ass. Don't fuck with him.
In an interview with Genius, Melly said that his other personality thinks about murder a lot. He said Melvin thought about it every day, all day.
Some people think about shoes. Some people think about weird shit, and they wake up with the murder on their mind. And I'm like, hey, bro.
I got a question, y'all. Because I'm hearing two different styles with this one. Do y'all think he made up this different personality shit, or do you think he really did have a personality, what do you call it, this dissociative personality disorder? I think we got us someone who got majored in psychology in our chat. So what do y'all think? Do you think he made up this, or do you think that for an image, shock value, you know what I'm saying? I'm crazy, I'm Melly, you know what I'm saying? Or do you think that this is true? Or do you think that he actually got some issues, but he just embellishing some of this shit for image, shock value to go along with the whole image type deal? I don't know. I'm asking y'all. I want to jump into that and let me know y'all opinion on this, because I'm hearing, I have heard on both sides. I see that it seems like he may do have these issues, but I've also, and I see how he could have these issues due to his upbringing, but I've also heard that a lot of this shit, nobody ever heard of this shit until after he made it. So y'all let me know. Get in the chat, let me know.
So what's the deal here? Is Melvin just a name for Melly's angry side?
So obviously there's Melly, but then is Melvin like an alter ego, or what is?
Here's Melly talking to Complex's Eric Skelton.
You know, alter ego is a person.
Okay.
You got mixed personality, it's another person.
Not an alter ego, a whole different person. That's how Melly describes it.
I ain't got no alter ego. I just got a mixed personality. I looked in the mirror and like, Melvin. I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is you? 12 a.m. I can't control it after that. So it's just like, heat up. Ain't no putting him away. None of that shit. That boy, I'm no longer Melly. I have been cloned. My name is Melvin. And Melvin don't give a fuck no more.
How many personalities do you have?
6.
6?
Yeah.
That's Melly speaking with Power 105.1 with the host, Nyla Simone.
What are the 6?
I can only reveal 3.
Wait, why?
Because the other 3 aren't going to be able to be released until next year.
Oh, okay. Okay, so tell me the 3.
You got Marcus. You got YNW Melly, the rapper. You got Melvin. Wait, Melvin just started rapping too.
Marcus, the third identity.
Marcus, he the one, like, I be in disguise. Like, if I got, like, the shades on.
Okay.
And a hat. And you can't really tell who I am. And I'm doing some regular people shit. So I can just feel like, you know.
A regular person.
Yeah. It's Marcus, baby.
I hear you, Kenny.
Too fast. Got 3 on the ass. Bitch, I'm on your ass.
The idea of having multiple personas, multiple personalities, multiple rap names is very common.
Here's our reporter, Sean Sotero. Remember that before he started working on podcasts, he had a long track record of writing
So you
about
saying he
rap.
like that movie Split?
Common
He like that
example
dude on
people think of is
Split.
David Bowie. You know, how many names did he have? Ziggy Stardust, Aladdin Sane, whatever. And it also exists in hip hop, right? T.I. had an album a couple of years ago called T.I. versus T.I.P., where he, divided himself up in half, and the, personas sort of had dueling songs and argued with each other and stuff.
If it's all an act, the timing was right. In early 2019, he was promoting his new song with Kanye West.
Melly would say in interviews something to the effect of, I have Melly and Melvin, Kanye has Ye and Yeezy, that's why we get along. The mentions really ramp up in early 2019, around the time the Mixed Personalities song comes out.
Hey, y'all get them likes up, man. Hit that like button for me. Please hit that like button. Get that like button.
Maybe we take it all with a grain of salt, but it is, there's an element of it that's confusing and disturbing and not easy to let go. It's hard to ignore that Melly openly talks about having a separate personality that he over and over says is a separate personality, if you take him at his word, that thinks about murder all the time. That's a hard thing to just brush off.
Yet, Melly's defense team has been trying to do just that.
Melly's old attorney, Bradford Cohen, petitioned the court to try to get Melly let out on bond.
This is May 2019, a couple months after Melly turned himself in for the murders. The lawyer filed some paperwork to try and get him out while the case winds its way through the system. And there's some interesting language in there.
The footnote says, although the state will disagree and will attempt to show pictures of Instagram accounts displaying firearms, songs discussing violence, video acts on social media discussing violence. And then he says, the defendant has long established a, quote, entertainment persona. That persona is for entertainment purposes. And it's the lawyer's attempt to say, you know what, this is an act, and it's a pretty common showbiz act, particularly for, people in the business Melly is in.
Fair enough. Melly's had his lyrics used against him in court. And Melly's lawyers are anticipating his violent alter ego will be used the same way in his case. Next time on Infamous, the story of YNW Melly. We go behind the scenes of the YNW crew and discover some dangerous tensions.
The guy that they called Sack Chaser, he was disrespectful to Melly's mom. He would tell Jamie that he was gonna do stuff like kill her.
Sack Chaser said, what? Oh, I gotta play that episode.
The story of YNW Melly is a Spotify original podcast in partnership with Complex. This episode was written and reported by Sean Sotero. Our super designer is Mira Al-Rahim.
I'm on 19 and I'm finna see a lot of $1 million.
You can get revenge on everyone who's ever done you wrong.
Look at me, you pussy ass Vero Beach high school teachers. I get way more money than all y'all hoes.
And you always get to hang out with your crew, your day ones. The guys who got you to the top.
Chase, like, you know I love you.
But success isn't simple. Sometimes, instead of solving problems, it makes them even worse. Jealousy enters the picture, friendships break up, and tense situations spin vitally out of control.
One in particular, the guy that they called Sack Chaser, he would tell Jamie that he was gonna do stuff like kill her.
Yes, I got murder on my mind.
Welcome to Infamous, the story of YNW Melly, a Spotify original podcast in partnership with Complex. I'm your host, Ace Hood. This season looks at how a violent murder tore a group of best friends in the Florida town apart, and why hip-hop's breakout star, YNW Melly, is at the center of it. This is episode 4, Her Little Son. Just 2 months before Juvie and Sack Chaser were killed, tensions in the YNW family were brewing. 2 of the people in Melly's innermost circle found themselves at odds. Sack Chaser and Melly's mom. Let's get it.
I think he was making blue Balenciagas that day, and I walked out the studio and I said, damn.
Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button. Hit that like button for me. Hit that like button. We rocking in this bitch. Hit that like button.
I am the Martian ambassador.
I was like, okay.
That's 808 Nate, the recording engineer. He's describing the first time he met Melly in 2018. Nate works at a studio in Fort Lauderdale, which used to be called New Era, one of Melly's regular spots. In the last place, the full YNW crew was seen together. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Soon after they first met, 808 Nate became Melly's go-to engineer.
He was like, me and you are twins, we think alike, and I want to record with you all the time. So after that, he was basically calling my phone every day to lock me in the studio from like 12 a.m. to like 10 a.m. every day. Wouldn't let me leave, locked in. We're just working. I swear, like, me and Melly had like over 1,000 songs in such a short period of time.
So he say him and Melly, this is 808 Nate. He say him and Melly got over 1,000 songs. Now I'm gonna say this now. Melly ain't got no 1,000 songs that's released, right? So we just heard Track say on this DJ Academic interview on Off the Record yesterday. We went over it today. It was the 4th day this morning. That was on our last live. So if you ain't catch it, go on our last live and catch it. We went over the interview where Track gave the DJ Academic. Track said that Melly only had enough music for one more album left, right? Which means 808, and which means that's all the music that Track and them got from Melly. But 808 Nate say him and Melly got over 1,000 songs. So, and there's songs that they did when he was younger. So 808 Nate sitting on a motherfucking little gold mine right here. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying though.
Was constantly looking for new inspiration, even when it came from strange places.
He rapped about the studio not having no toilet paper tissue. I was just like, okay, he freestyles for real.
Melly also described himself as an alien.
After knowing him, I probably understood that he probably felt like it was really different, especially coming from where he's from. And then having that type of mindset and attitude where people don't make it out like that, you would feel like an alien. Like you would feel like you don't fit in.
Of course, Melly had other aliens around him. Juvie, Sack Chaser, and Borland.
And they'll always move like a unit. It was just like, all right, well, we gotta go. All right, we all going. All right, everybody leave. Every time you see them, they'll all be together. You never see them apart. Wherever you see Melly, you'll see Sack, Juvie, Borland. Wherever you see Sack, you see Juvie, Borland. So it was always together.
There was something about the group. They weren't just friends. It was more than that. There was a lot of goofing off. But there was a connection that was a lot more intense.
Because they all went by like this thing that they're all one and they all share one brain. So they're all twins, so they all think alike. So Melly will definitely tell you, like, he'll be like, Sack is me, and I'm Sack. Bort is me, and Bort's Melly.
Sack Chaser was a huge part of YNW's success. Sack was the visionary, and had been since they were kids. In middle school, Sack brought his showy Atlanta style down to Gifford.
Sack is from Atlanta. So when he came, he brought tight-ass skinny jeans and different type of shirts.
Jug Zuella was close friends with Sack, starting in the 9th grade. She says that Sack is where Melly got his fashion sense.
People used to make fun of him. Then Melly started wearing double shoes, different floor shirts, and probably a purple jean just to be different. All the attention started getting on them.
And it was the interaction of Sack's ideas and Melly's energy that drove YNW.
Sack brings it up. Melly thinks about some crazy shit to do. They make it happen. An example, let's do a video at Walmart. Yeah, that's a crazy idea. And here's Melly. Yeah, I want to be on top of the counter or something, spinning. You know what I mean? Like, it used to be conversation, like, you know, and the idea of a conversation they would have.
The two made a hell of a pair. Sack was almost 2 years older than Melly and almost a foot taller. Sack could be serious, and if he didn't like somebody's energy, he wouldn't mess with him.
So shout out to Yellow Diamond. Listen, I'm grinding, boo. I'm trying to get us that money, baby. Damn, I'm trying to get us that bag. Listen, man, when them other bloggers sleep, I'm grinding. Shit, we ain't made it yet. We got to grind. We got to work. Hard work out. Hard work beat talent if talent don't work hard. So we got to work hard. Listen, it's a grind. I'm enjoying the journey, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm enjoying the journey. I love doing this with y'all. I was gonna go to sleep, but I couldn't sleep, and I was like, man, fuck that shit, man. I want to do some more Melly videos with my peoples, man. So I jumped my ass right up out of bed and jumped right back on the motherfucking computer, and here I am 2 hours later. Shit. But shout out to you. I appreciate you you logging in and fucking with us. You know what I'm saying? I know that the normal, regularly scheduled program timing, but man, listen, man, time waits for nobody, man. We grinding. But listen, do you hear what she's saying? She's saying that they saying that Sack was very influential with the style that Melly had, with the ideals. I just want y'all to catch on to this and pay attention to this, because I want you to put yourself in the mind of Sack when they start allegedly cutting him out of some of these deals and he ain't getting paid, or he not, or Melly gets signed and Sack, you know what I mean, feel like he losing control. He was very influential. You see what they describe Sack as. They describe Sack as the business mind. You see what I'm saying?
One of them somebodies was Jamie, Melly's mom. Jamie was involved in Melly's career.
He had the most beautiful voice in kindergarten. And we were all just like, this little kid he's gonna be somebody.
Social media shows that she was at video shoots, recording sessions, and shows. But Jug says it didn't feel that way at the very start.
Melly mom was never around. I never witnessed her around supporting. Right. She wasn't around till 772 Love got real big.
Jug.
So do you hear that? They saying Melly mama did not support as much as she did before 772 started getting real big. I mean, I'm going to say this, y'all. I'm going to say this. Ain't that always the story? I ain't going to say with your parents, but I'm going to say, ain't you all going to have stories of some people who didn't support you until you succeeded or looked like you was going to succeed? I'm not saying it's cool for her not to support. Me personally, one of the greatest joy in my life is supporting my kids and watching them succeed at something. I don't give a fuck if my kid fuck around and be a motherfucking video game player. And if that's what they want to do, I'm going to support them doing the shit. And I'm going to get joy out of watching them achieve success at something that they love to do. So I don't understand how you want to support your kid out the gate, me personally, because I'm a supportive parent. I don't give a fuck what you like to do. Whatever the fuck it is you like to do, I'm going to support you doing it. It could be the weirdest shit in the world, but if you like doing it and you're my kid, I'm going to support you doing it. You feel what I'm saying? That's just me. That's just how I am as a father. Now, so I don't understand her not supporting him initially, nor do I'm not going to say that what this lady said is law. But I'm saying it doesn't surprise me that she didn't initially support him. And then once he started popping off, she started supporting more. This is the story for a lot of us.
Jamie was suspicious of the influence this older, bigger guy had over her son. She also says Sack never wanted the spotlight for himself. It was always for his friend.
Sack didn't want to be a rapper. He wanted Melly to make it. He wanted to be the back end. He wanted to be CEO. Like, he didn't want to steal nobody's thing, but he had the master plan. I don't care. Melly's going to feel bad about this, but he literally coached Melly. Listen, dude, you're going to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to get the attention.
Sack's next step in the master plan was a mixtape. Murder on My Mind was hot, and so it was time to capitalize on the moment.
Do y'all hear this? Do y'all hear how influential Sack was? You hear this? She said Sack coached Melly. She said Sack coached Melly to what? To the next step. Let's do this and that. She said Sack did not even want to be a rapper. Sack wanted to be the CEO. He wanted to be behind the scenes. He wanted to make Melly a star. Put that X and O set on, babe. And now our powers combine. I'm just saying. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying. It could be genuine love. It could be genuine homeboy love. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it couldn't have been. I'm just saying. Sack didn't have an ego when it came to initially what she's saying, him wanting to be in the limelight. Sack wanted to support Melly from the front row. No, from on back on stage. I could be wrong. Y'all know I be with the bullshit, dog. Y'all know I had to hit you with some bullshit. But I'm just saying though.
Would be Melly's first big release. The tape dropped just 2 months before Sack and Juvie were killed, and Melly called it I Am You. Here's 808 Nate.
You feel like they were all connected, like everybody was like on the same type of heartbeat, you feel me? Like a one-track mind, everybody was thinking the same thing.
I Am You pushed Melly into the big time. It was backed by 300, the same company that guided the careers of rappers like Young Thug and Megan Thee Stallion. But as Melly's success started to rise, so did the beefs. Right around the time I Am You dropped, YNW ran into the Louisiana rapper NBA Youngboy. They were all at the Atlantic Record Studios in Los Angeles, and Sack was there to protect Melly. Afterwards, Sack told the entire story on social media.
We put up in Atlantic. Youngboy already outside looking like it.
When the YNW crew showed up at Atlantic, Youngboy tried to stare him down.
Like, I fuck with a nigga, but I ain't friendly. Like, I ain't finna look scared and say what's up to you. So I asked him, nigga, you straight? Me and Juvie was like, straight? And he was like, yo, straight.
Words were exchanged. More people from both sides came into the studio.
His homeboys came creep-toeing like a damn penguin and shit.
Tensions grew.
But they was just in our face talking.
And then
Youngboy, like, he popped off. He hit Melly, boom. When he hit him, Melly hit him 2 times, boom, boom. And that's when I popped off on him. Popped off on Youngboy. And then his niggas came after me. And they started boom, 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 boom. Melly hit on the ground.
Afterwards, Sack Chaser talked to Jug about it.
These industry niggas different. They think we supposed to, like, you know, get hooked, and when they come around, they think I'm famous too.
The fight only lasted a couple minutes, but it meant a lot. First, Melly's upgraded status meant that the haters were lurking everywhere. And second, Sack Chaser was ride or die for Melly, without any hesitation. Loyalty held the YNW crew together, but it was about to crack.
Now you see how sad this is, y'all? That's what the fuck I'm saying, man. Listen. 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 I'm gonna say this 1,000 times while we doing these videos. I wish this shit would have never happened. I wish them boys would have succeeded, stuck together, and been on the top of the world right now, living their fucking dreams, man. I really do, man. This shit is sad. Listen to this, and this documentary is a great documentary. Ace Hood and Sean Chatero and all of them, Complex, Spotify, y'all put together a damn good documentary. Listen, but this, they finna get into the actual crime here shortly, and the specifics of the crime here shortly. And y'all want to stick around for that. Also, I want y'all to go subscribe to YNW Juvie's father's YouTube channel. His name is Spoon. The channel is called Spoons Full of Game. Go subscribe to his channel. Me and him are going to be going live sometime this week, and subscribe to this channel. If you don't subscribe to this channel, you're not going to know when we go live. The people that are here when we go live are going to be able to ask Spoon direct questions. Nobody giving y'all that. Nobody or nowhere across this YouTube platform can you speak to one of the victim's father about questions and ask them questions about stuff that you may have wanted to ask. Nowhere. And I just want y'all to go run my boy subscribers up. It's called Spoons Full of Game. That's his channel. He just started on YouTube. Run his subscribers up, run his views up, run his watch time hours up, because he just started his channel out. And just like y'all supported me, I want y'all to go support him. We're going to be tag teaming this thing like the Steiner brothers, man. Rick and Scott Steiner, man. If you know wrestling, then you know. You know what I'm saying? Like the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. You feel what I'm saying? We're going to be doing this thing, though. But I just want y'all to understand how sad this whole scenario is, man. And how much Sack was involved with Melly developing and being able to. He helped him along selflessly. You feel what I'm saying? The lady telling you Sack did not want to be a rapper. So can you imagine Sack, the one who kind of, I ain't saying Melly wouldn't have made it anyway, but what I'm saying is he really was a real homeboy as far as like supportive, showed guidance, showed ideas, and Sack held it down for the clique. On all the courts, Sack was the one, was gonna be on the front line with pistols, fighting, whatever. I'm telling you, listen, I heard a lot of stories about Sack, but I ain't never heard not one say he was soft. I never heard not one say he wasn't gonna ride for the team, for the clique. Now, can you imagine, as this shit going on, you seeing Melly blow up and you getting cut out the deals? You broke. Listen, I'm telling y'all, y'all cannot tell me. I was asked to ask y'all a question. Can y'all name one car that YNW Melly owned, or Sack Chaser owned, or any of them owned? None of them ever had vehicles, man. Track rented the Compass I for them, the Compasses for them. Even when Melly went to jail, he didn't have a fucking car. I'm just saying, those boys, even though Melly did get to see some money soon after they died, those boys didn't get to see hardly no money. They got a couple dollars for a couple shows, but it really wasn't no real money. And as little bit of money as they had, they said when Juvie used to get broke off from doing a couple shows or whatever little plays they ran, they say he would go right to Gifford and bust it down with the Army gang. I'm talking about give it to him. Like, here y'all go. Know what I'm saying? Like y'all my niggas, like him. Like they say he was like Robin Hood to them. Like, I'm just breaking this shit down to y'all, man, to paint a picture, man.
Sack was openly sending Jamie, Melly's mom, threatening messages.
That's when we come back. Welcome back. In mid-2018, Melly's star was rising. And for at least a year, Melly's mom had been going heavy on social media to promote him.
Urban Appeal, get your free Melly shirts.
But Jamie also had criticism, mostly about Sack. Like Jug already said, Sack wanted to steer the YNW ship, be sort of the CEO. But Jamie probably felt like some of that was her territory, so B felt inevitable. Eventually, Sack heard that Jamie thought he was leeching. Sack didn't let that go.
This is quote verbatim what YNW Sack Chaser wrote. Leech my ass. Nobody in Gifford was a star.
That's DJ Bless One reading Sack Chaser's post. He's a friend of YNW Juvie and someone who has followed the case for.
I want to say this. I'm going to fucking find out who this DJ Bless One is. I know who he is as far as like on YouTube. I watched his videos. He's straight. Don't get it twisted. I don't got no problem with him. I like his content. He's decent. But I did not know he was from down there. I did not know that. Me personally, I did not know that. I watched his content, and I wouldn't have known had I not heard Ace Hood just said in the documentary. I've been watching his content for a while. You feel what I'm saying? He decent. I like, bro. I don't got no problem with none he ever did or nothing like that. What I'm saying is, I did not know he was that close to the situation. And I'm going to find out.
I'm the one they looked up to, and look, they the stars of Florida. I'll turn her little son to a king, to a star.
I'll turn her little son to a king. Even though her name is never mentioned, it's pretty obvious he's talking about Jamie.
So you hear what Sack's saying? Sack actually going off a little bit, but he's saying, I'll turn her little son into a king, into a star. I don't really like how you put that, Sack. You said her little son. It make me it's kind of like, I just don't like how you, I don't like how you put that, Sack. I'll turn her little son into a king, into a star. What y'all feel about that, y'all? What y'all feel about how Sack said that? I'll turn a little son into a king, into a star. Oh, there's nothing wrong with your beard. Oh, you brushing this. I be brushing that beard, don't I, bro? No, that beard be rolling up. Fuck what you said, beard. Let me tell you something. Y'all don't be paying attention. That bitch be rolling up. That bitch be rolling up like little motherfucking, like little BBs on that motherfucker. I'm telling you, beard. Hey, look, that gray coming in. You see me? That's all right. I'm fine wine. Y'all ride me. Hey, look. Now that bitch be rolling up, big. I'm telling you, that bitch be rolling up. Boy, I'm talking about, give about 20 minutes, that bitch that go to. That Brillo be rolling up. That motherfucking black Brillo be rolling up, man. Then they gonna play this at court, for real. I don't either. I watch them all the time too. Who? What's my sign? You talking about my sign, Tamika? I'm a Pisces. March 3rd. Bro, that's it. My boy Big got on me. They was looking at Young Boy crazy when they pulled up in Atlantic at Yellow Diamond, for real. That grade coming in for real. Sack Chaser was really that. Yeah, shout out to Sack Chaser the Cruise. Doesn't sound like he does from the altercation. Sounds like a hater to me. YNW ain't did nothing. Ain't did him nothing. What you say? Marita. What's up, Aaron's Way? He hump him though. Shout out to Tamika, man, for real. That's what I'm saying when he said your little son. It made me think a little like, you know, like a little, I'll turn her little son. It sounded a little, you know what I mean? I'm just saying though. He's a hater. He reminds me of him. If you watch the documentary that Melly did with Sack and Juvie in it, it's like 20 minutes long. No, I ain't check it out. This is going to be a movie for real. YB is a hater. He was intimidated by the YW crew and talent. He really thinks he's going to get away with it too. He thinks so. Truly sad. It's very sad. Screaming Sack rock back and forth, mimicking YB. For real. Damn, he Leo like me on his. Okay. All right. My ex and son, Pisces. Yeah, I'm Pisces. March 9th. Shout out John. Oh Lord, damn. All the mods are going to work. That's good. They cool. We holding it down though. The chicks 1,000. Shout out to you, Jason Leary. Shout out to you. I didn't either. I watch them all the time too. For real. But look, let's keep going though, cause this shit finna get real juicy here, y'all. This shit finna get real juicy.
And it appears Jamie knew it. Sack Chaser was declaring himself Melly's kingmaker. We found a record of Jamie screenshotting the post and responding on Instagram. The original post no longer exists, so we can't be 100% sure if it's her. But it sure sounds like her.
It says, you broke ass, get everything from my son. I make on my money.
That's a typo. She probably meant to say, I make my own money.
Try me again, I will let that Draco go.
I will let that Draco go. A threat about a gun.
She threatened Sack Chaser with a gun? And she
Melly's father, Dante Taylor, remembers talking to Jamie about Sack.
Sack was openly sending Jamie, Melly's mom, threatening messages.
Our reporter Sean spoke to Dante.
He would tell Jamie that he was going to do stuff like kill her. I mean, that's the type of stuff he was insinuating. He would pull his gun. He was pulling his gun on her.
Sack was.
On a regular. Yes, he was pulling his gun, and she had a CCW, so she would also draw her gun, and she used to tell him like, no, like, don't do this. You know, I'm not gonna let you do this.
Jamie always felt like Sack was controlling Melly.
That's Sack's friend Jug again.
He just didn't like that. His energy was too high. And, you know, for an adult that can't control a kid, you know how that is. Like, hold on, like, I'm the grown person, and who does little boy think he is?
There's some evidence of all of this coming to a head. A video.
She said she felt like Sack was controlling Melly. I wonder how.
That Jamie recorded, upset because Sack was threatening her friends. So she fires back.
If you don't sit your pussy ass down, then don't ever come for me. Because my credentials is real. It ain't even a joke. So don't ever try to come for me. Because I don't even play them type of games.
We don't know exactly when this video was recorded.
Y'all
it
heard
after Sack was already dead.
What the fuck you got that I ain't got? Oh, you threatened me with your little gun? Bitch, I got big guns. On any day, Melly is my child. And he is gonna be great because he's talented. He's talented because his mom, not because of your little fuck ass, retarded ass.
We wanted to talk to Jamie about the video
That
she made.
so slow.
We sent her a bunch of messages and got no response.
They gonna use that shit there in court, y'all. Y'all know
Ultimately,
that.
this is a fight for credit, for control. Who's responsible for Melly's success? Who gets to determine his next moves? Who takes whose side is important to understanding this crime? Sack Chaser and Juvie are dead, half of the YNW core. The other two are both accused of participating in their murders, Melly and Bortland. According to the police, Bortland drove everyone out to that remote location. He dropped Melly off and took Sack and Juvie's bodies to the hospital. He even helped hide the murder weapon. So what else do we know about YNW Bortland?
He was poor. Innocent. He was poor. He had no phone. He shared clothes. We know a lot.
We know that Bortland has publicly said over and over again that he and Melly didn't kill anybody.
Innocent. We innocent. Melly be our soon.
We know that Bortland's main job was to lead the crew's fashion and merch effort.
No, he was driving.
There was one word that came up again and again when we talked to people about Bortland.
He didn't say much. He was pretty quiet.
Bortland was just a quiet ass nigga. Bortland was always quiet, like, you know what I'm saying?
He was quiet because he was broke.
That bitch ain't never rap. That bitch didn't give a fuck about rap.
If things went down the way the cops say they did, why would he drive his friends to their death? For one thing, no one else was gonna do it.
His record was clean, you know what I'm saying? The only one that could drive, you know what I mean?
I told you he was the driver.
Keep in mind that Bortland was a part of the YNW hive mind. It makes sense that a member of a crew this tight, this dedicated to understanding each other, might take things pretty far.
Nah, I ain't gonna
Especially if
speak,
Melly
dog.
wanted them to go
I'm
that
grinding for us, baby.
But why would Melly push for things to go that way? Meanwhile, our reporter Sean continued to try and contact Jamie.
So what you want to talk about?
Yeah, Dream Dog.
Like to know.
The closest he got was a short phone call with her grandmother. He kept trying. Whatever went wrong between the members of this crew is still a mystery. The whole situation reminds me of my first label, Dollars and Deals. It was a similar dynamic to YNW. That label, the crew, was my whole community. And when we got our shot with DJ Khaled was just interested in me, not Dollars and Deals. Now that caused pretty big problems. I wanted to use the opportunity to further myself and my guys, but they wanted to do things in a very different way. Their focus was more on Dollars and Deals, the label, and that drove a wedge between us. So I can imagine what it must be like for someone like Sack Chaser. You believe in your crew and in your city. You have a vision. You take risks, you put yourself on the line, getting into fights, only for big companies to come along and they just want your friend, not you. And to add to...
You hear that? So you hear that, right? You hear what Ace Hood is saying? He said exactly what I said. Yeah, they fucking cut Sack Chaser out. This might be the fucking meaning behind the Thugger Spaz song. I don't fucking know. I can't understand what the fuck he was saying. But they're painting the picture now. You see? Sack Chaser was very influential. I have yet to hear somebody come out and say Sack Chaser Well, nobody publicly come out and say Sack Chaser was the connect between him and Young Thug, but behind closed doors, this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Sack Chaser connecting with Young Thug. Young Thug is on what record label? 300. That is what Melly is on what record label? 300. Sack Chaser and Thug is supposed to be cousins, correct? Sack Chaser is from where? Atlanta, correct? Okay. So can you imagine? And then they said Sack Chaser was the one that told Melly start dressing like that. Put that dress on, babe. And now our powers combine. And can you, after all of that, the horizontal mambo, and after all of that, can you imagine being Sack Chaser and seeing your, with the hearts on the eyes, what's the emoji with got the hearts on the eyes? Your loved one, for lack of better words, get signed when it was supposed to be a group thing getting signed, and then y'all don't get signed, you ain't getting no money, you ain't got no power, you ain't got no say so. Then you got Melly mama coming along saying that you a leech when you really feel like you contributed way more than she did. Yes, she gave birth to him, but as far as like supporting him and doing all of this shit, you was in the ground level of supporting him before his mama did. Yes, she came along and supported, and that's cool. She came along and supported, but as far as like when she supported, it was after Sack Chaser supported. I'm not saying that Melly wouldn't have blowed up without Sack Chaser. I'm not saying that. I think his talent would have eventually broke him through anyways, me personally. But I do think Sack Chaser was very influential in Melly signing to 300, Melly having the swag and style and cinnamon sprinkled all over his body, and glitter and cinnamon sprinkled all over his body. I think Sack Chaser was very influential in that, if you know what I mean. So I could see how Sack would start being frustrated, especially being that Melly's eating, or it looks like Melly's finna be eating, and we don't have nothing in paperwork or on the table for us to eat. We basically gonna have to sit and wait and hope that Melly keeps it real with us. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Accusations of being a leech, of living off the success of your friend, success that you helped build. That's a lot. I can see how in a situation like that, if everyone known each other for years, tensions and threats can fly back and forth. And think about it from Melly's perspective for a minute. If someone was threatening your mother, pulling out guns on her, how would you react? Especially if it was one of your best friends.
Hello, I'm looking for Jamie King.
Finally, Sean reaches Melly's mom.
Hello? Hi, is Jamie there? This is Jamie. So we are working on a podcast about Melly and wanted to talk to people, you know, closest to him, and you're basically at the top of the list. So I don't do interviews. Y'all know that.
Jamie said she talked to her lawyers and get back to us, but she never did. So, back to the drawing board. Next time on Infamous, we look at the immediate aftermath of Sack and Juvie's murders and how Melly and Bortland were acting.
They walked into the lake, and it was the most awkwardest scene of my life. Literally. They didn't act like somebody just died.
Infamous, the story of YNW Melly is a Spotify original podcast in partnership with Complex. This episode was written and reported by Sean Sotero. Our supervising producer is Shiva Bayat. Our sound designer is Mira Al-Rahim. Associate producer is Nisha Jones. Edited by Nick White in collaboration with Neon Hum. Engineering done by William Smith. Original music by Johnny Baker.
I seen you had posted on social media a picture.
Instagram. A month later, mixed personalities arrived.
I think I got mixed personalities. This bitch switched up my whole mentality. This girl, she got mixed personalities. One day she's happy, then she mad at me.
That bitch sound like a narcissist. That bitch.
It seemed like all anybody could ask Melly about.
How did that song come about? How did you meet Kanye? How did that whole collab come about?
He heard my music in Paris doing his A&R. Shout out to Sam.
How did that happen? Did he reach out to you? How did the Kanye feature come to be?
Yeah, he heard my music in Paris. Like, shout out to Sam.
How did the Yeezy collaboration happen?
Natural. He heard my music and he flew me out.
But behind all this attention, 2 of Melly's crew members were dead. And there was serious heat coming down on Melly for it.
Free Melly, nigga. In the set. Smelly bodies just say innocent. 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 Innocent.
Hey, Dream Dog.
Innocent.
Hey, y'all hit that like button, man. Hit that like button on the way in. Hit that like button. Hit that like button on the way in.
Welcome to Infamous, the story of YNW Melly, a Spotify original podcast in partnership with Complex. This season looks at how a violent murder tore a group of best friends
hit that like button, y'all. We're rocking early
why
today,
hip-hop's
man.
breakout star YNW Melly is at the center of it. I'm your host, It's Hood. This is episode 5, According to Law. We spent time looking at the period leading up to the deaths of Juvie and Sack Chaser. Now, we arrive at the day those 2 core YNW members were shot and killed. Right after, Melly's career reaches a new peak. Let's get to it. You got some haters just mad at the success. They love it, but now they see it. They just hate it, but they love it at the same time. Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas, also known as YNW Sack Chaser and YNW Juvie, were last seen alive at 3:20 a.m. on October 26, 2018.
So they're last seen at 3:20 a.m.
They were leaving a recording studio in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, along with YNW Melly, YNW Bortland, and 4 other guys. 808 Nate was the engineer that night.
It was just all great energy, great vibes. Just played around the studio. Everybody was getting their tracks done.
An hour and 15 minutes later, Bortland drove into the parking lot of Memorial Hospital in Miramar, just 1 city over from Fort Lauderdale. Sack Chaser and Juvie's dead bodies were in the passenger seats.
Multiple police cars and a crime scene van blocked the emergency room entrance at Memorial Hospital Miramar earlier this morning. Police were carefully examining a gray Jeep 4x4 that was parked in front of the emergency room. The back windshield appeared shattered.
The immediate word is that it was a drive-by. News starts spreading quickly. This is rapper Jay Green.
When that happened, I'm like, oh man, I just made phone calls, make sure everybody cool, everything all right with everybody.
Here's Melly's childhood friend, Strouder.
A mutual friend that was there.
Yeah, shout out to Ron. Listen, man, listen. I know about that stock market too, big dog. Listen, let me tell you something. Listen, I had Ethereum, motherfucking all that type of shit. I had a few dollars in Bitcoin. I used to like to play the crypto, but when that shit started sinking, I just pulled a lot of my money out. You know what I'm saying? But I still got some. I use the Robinhood app. I use Robinhood. I use Coinbase, Coinbase, and BlockFi. Those are the channels that I use when the apps that I use when I was trading, doing stocks and all of that. And I was getting into how to do the I forgot what the name of the motherfuckers was. But we'll talk about it. Well, I'll get back with you. But yeah, I fuck with the stock market, bro.
Night of that whole situation had caused us like, Sack Juvie and Melly just got shot. So we like, damn.
Oh, LaRon, the options. I was learning how to do the options. If you go on Robinhood will show you how to do the options. And I was learning how to do the options. That's what it was. That's what I was learning how to do.
Oh, what the fuck?
And Strouder's pal, Casper.
I seen that shit and I was just like, damn. That shit crazy. We wasn't got hit in the driveway. That shit crazy as fuck.
I found out like 2 days later. I was in jail. First, my roommate came back to the room and saying like, he was like, your homeboy died. Like, nigga, stop playing with me, but like, you lying, you feel me? So I ain't believe him.
This is Juvie's close friend Trill, talking to our producers in Gifford. He's with a bunch of original YNW crew members. They're talking outside of Jug's mom's house.
Like that Sunday, I was in my room asleep. The guard like came knock on my door, told me to get up and shit, so he popped my lock and shit. So he'll like call your mama and shit, so I called mama. Mama crying, so I like, damn, something wrong. That's when she'll like, Chris and sat dead. I was like, what? When she said that, like, I started crying, you feel me? I just started crying and shit, like, that shit just broke me. Like, I ain't talked to nobody rest that whole, like, week. So I was in the feeling, though, and I couldn't do nothing about it. You feel me? I was in jail and shit. I couldn't go to the funeral and all.
Sack Chase's best friend, Jug Zuella, says she was one of the first people to find out.
So I was the one that broke the news to Sack's mom and his sister. Like, calling them like, sis said Sack died. And it was just speechless from then. Like, everything just went downhill from then. It was a different world.
Then Jug drove to their house.
Sack's mom is speechless. I remember walking up, and she was about to fall to the ground, and I had to catch her up. And I was just like, it's going to be okay. You know, she just lost her first born. She lost her first love. Like, we stayed for hours and hours and hours. Like, we sat, we cried, we talked about memories, and we cried again.
So she's saying that she told Sack Chase's mama that he had passed. This is his friend. I think it said Jugs. Sound like I mean, it's definitely a woman. But she was saying that she was telling Sack Chase's mama that he passed, that she broke down, you know, almost fell. You know, I told y'all, man, listen, man, and I this goes out to all parents out there, man, especially the ones who have lost a child. Listen, man, I feel for y'all. The ones that haven't lost a child, man, listen, man, we all know that, I'm telling you, the loss of a child is the greatest, is your worst fear as a parent. And my heart goes out to Sack Chaser mama, Juvie mama, Sack Chaser daddy, Juvie daddy, you know what I'm saying? And anybody else parent out there, any other parent out there that actually lost a child, man, I'm just saying, like, I have children, and my heart goes out to y'all, you know what I'm saying? And so yeah.
Melly called Sack's mom's house too.
It's so crazy because he called me just like, Ma, don't cry. We know who did this. We're going to get who did this. Everything's going to be okay. We think we have an idea of who did this.
One member of...
Oh, man. So Melly called Sack Chaser mama house telling her, we know who did this. We going to get them, Ma. Don't worry, this and that. Wow. This is when the whole story turns dark, y'all. Just pay attention. This is fucking insane. So you done called this boy mama, which I understand, kind of sort of, you got to try to play it off. But damn, my nigga, damn.
Sack's family immediately had a theory.
I think it was Sack's auntie, and her exact words was, I don't care what anybody has to say, my nephew was set up. And everybody in the room, like, even me, I'm like, what? And I'm like, bro, Melly would never, ever set up to that, bro. Like, never. Ever. I don't even believe in that. Like, never. Like, hell no. No. We didn't want to hear that conversation. We didn't want to have no doubt.
Sack's auntie wasn't the only skeptical one.
She said they been shot. I don't know, like, how. I didn't know, like, they said drive-by.
What my water?
But I was told. No, I didn't believe it. Because anybody else ain't get hit in the car.
Dumbass believe that.
Nobody else ain't get hit in the car. That's why I ain't believe it.
Only a dumbass would believe that was a drive-by.
Do y'all hear what them boys from the G saying? I can't see exactly who it is because I'm listening to the audio on Spotify. But do y'all hear? Is y'all paying attention? We ain't the only people that's looking at what, and this before they even had what the police had. This is fresh out the gate. This is just common knowledge of what they're thinking when they're thinking about the story and the scenario. They're thinking, hey, this don't sound right. Now that we got more to make our opinion on than those boys did, I'm just saying.
Sack Chase's funeral happened just a few days after he was killed. Jug was there, and she remembers that Melly and Bortland showed up late.
We're sitting down, long table. Security guards walk in, which was Melly's security guard. They had on black turtlenecks, black trench coat, dressed down, black sunglasses, and they walked into the wake. And it was the most awkwardest scene of my life. Literally. They didn't act like somebody just died. They didn't.
Y'all hear that? She's saying when Sack Chase, Lord forgive me, I ain't trying to put your name like that, Sack. They saying when Melly and Bortland walked in Sack Chase awake, they did not act like somebody just died. The vibe was off, the feeling was off. Let me tell you something, man. Sometimes you can feel certain shit inside. Sometimes your gut, that intuition, that energy, you can feel something. You can feel when something ain't right, is what I'm saying. Y'all know it. Women got it. They call it women's intuition. It ain't always right. You know what I'm saying? Men have it too, and it ain't always right. But a lot of times it's just a vibe that you get, a feeling that you get, and it making you just say, something here just doesn't feel right. And she's saying it didn't feel right. The vibe was off.
Like, they didn't act like their best friend that they've been with each other for years, they're never going to see them again. I didn't get that emotion from them. It was just, I got to get here, I got to show up, I'm going to do my thing, and I'm out. I'm going to go shoot a music video later. When I noticed that it was no remorse, I'm like, bro, these boys got something to do with it. Even if they didn't do it, they allowed it to happen. You know what I mean?
We don't know exactly when it's from, but there's some interesting social media footage of Melly talking about going to a funeral. He's on IG Live with rapper Trippie Redd.
What's going on, Slack?
So I want to say this one thing. So we now know that Melly did go to Sack Chase's wake. I heard they did not show up to Juvie's funeral. But these were two different funerals, or two different situations. And a wake is not a funeral. A wake is before the funeral. You feel what I'm saying? So, you hear what I'm saying? So I could see how people could say, oh, they didn't show up, oh, they did show up, it's different. It was different events. But as far as Juvie's on, I'm hearing he didn't show up. They didn't show up for that one. And I'm thinking the one where they're talking to Trippie Redd is the one where they were talking about they was going to Juvie's funeral and never showed up. You understand what I'm saying? So, because I'm hearing they never showed up. Or it could have been going, I don't know. But I know one of them, I know they didn't show the Juvie's on. So what with this Trippie Redd video, FaceTime, I don't know which funeral he was talking about, Melly was talking about.
The damn funeral. How that shit go.
You know how that shit go, man.
But if you pay attention to this video, if you saw this video, Melly was really happy. He didn't look sad at all. Look how he was laughing. He didn't seem sad at all.
The Miramar police became more convinced that Juvie and Sack Chaser were not the victims of a drive-by, but instead that Melly and Bortland were responsible for the deaths of their crew members. The following account comes from a legal document filed by Melly's lawyer in 2019. Right after the murders, the cops reached out to Melly. They said they wanted to discuss what happened, but Melly wasn't buying it. He said, "Talk to my lawyer." They did. And Melly's lawyer told them, "No way. Neither Melly or Bortland are going to tell you anything." Then, in January, Melly was dealing with some stuff that had nothing to do with Sack and Juvie's killings. Drug and gun charges from the previous summer. The kind of thing that would usually just lead to probation. But instead, county officials hit Melly with a 25-day jail sentence. The very first day Melly's locked up, he gets a visit from the same officers that tried to question him before. According to the filing from Melly's lawyer, they pull him away from everyone and put him in a meeting room. They completely ignore Melly's request to talk to his lawyer, and they start questioning him. "Can I ask you one question?" one of them states. Melly says no. Then the officer starts yelling, "Which one did you kill first?" People at the jail say they'd never seen anything like it. These cops were trying to force a confession out of Melly. Is this why Melly got jail time and not probation for this opportunity? Meanwhile, Broward police try to close in on Bortland. They think he helped Melly, that he lied when he showed up at the hospital with Sack Chaser and Juvie's bodies. In January 2019, a judge issued a warrant for Bortland's arrest for accessory after the fact. The warrant ends with some legalese that actually sound pretty scary. It reads, "These are, therefore, to command you forthwith to arrest the said Cortland M. Henry and bring him before me to be dealt with according to law." To be dealt with according to law. What could that phrase mean for Melly and Bortland? That's next. Welcome back. Melly was released after his 25 days on the drug and weapons charges. He got right back to his rap star life with a gig in Chicago, supporting mixed personalities. Bortland is on stage, hyping up the crowd. Hard to say whether he knew about the warrant out for him. He doesn't look like he has a care in the world. Their next stop was in Houston. That show would turn out to be a problem. We don't know exactly how it went down, but our reporter Sean Sotero learned that Florida officials got in touch with the authorities in Houston via email. Said they were looking for him, and in just a matter of hours, Bortland was in custody, no bond. The plan was to extradite him to Florida, but Bortland sat in the Texas jail cell for 2 weeks. The same two officers that tried to get a confession out of Melly in Florida came to visit Bortland in Texas. Melly's lawyer says those cops questioned Bortland in the same aggressive way they questioned Melly. Again, it seemed like they were trying to intimidate a suspect into confessing, but it didn't work. From Texas, Bortland talked to Melly on the phone. Sean got a hold of a partial transcript. In it, Bortland says to Melly, "Make sure you straight, dude." "What you mean?" Melly replies. Then Bortland says, "Make sure you ain't got no warrant." "I don't," Melly says. Bortland was being charged as an accessory, so he probably figured as long as Melly avoided charges, then there wasn't anything for him to be an accessory to. While Bortland is worrying about warrants, Melly is having the time of his life. Mixed Personalities hits the Billboard charts, and Melly is taking full advantage, doing as many radio interviews as he can.
What's going on, guys? Natalie Simone here from Power 105.1 with a very special guest all the way from Florida. Melly's in the building.
Hey.
So who am I talking to right now? Am I talking to Melly, Melvin, Mel? Like, who am I talking to?
You talking to Melvin, because I'm mad right now.
What are you mad about?
You know I'm mad. We ain't going to talk about that right now.
All right.
Recently, Designer said that he was crazy. Designer said Kanye's crazy.
I must be fucked up too, cause we be vibing. People got mixed personalities, Melvin, Gates, we be turned up. So I don't know. So it's like, bro, really be vibing when he be with me. Like we just be, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So you see a lot of you in Kanye.
Like yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yay, Yeezy.
Hey, mixed personalities.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
I got mixed personality too, dog. Like, damn, I relate.
Who is Melly and who is Melvin?
I'm Melly right now. You feel me? I wake up with Melly. I go see Mel. They two-face. Melvin was like hyper crazy. Melly the one cool, chill, genuine. I ain't got no alter ego. I just got a mixed personality. I really got mixed personality, so. It's not, I'm not just saying it. Like, I really got mixed personalities. For sure.
So that's when it becomes weird. I've never known him for two personalities. He never talked about it.
Here's Jug Zawella again, Sack Chase's close friend.
I was just like, bro, like, that's fake. Like, I don't believe, like, you have two personalities. Like, you're Melly. Like, Melvin is Melly. Like,
hey, Dream Dog.
There's no Melvin or there's Melly. Like, nigga, this is you.
Watch this him.
It was just a distraction for Sack and Judy's death.
It may have been a distraction. If it was, it worked. Mixed Personalities was a huge look.
Hey, Dream Dog, check this out. I want you to look into Maximilian's eyes, look deep into his eyes, and wipe his motherfucking nose. Get his ass off this platform. I want you to catch your body early this morning. I want you to look dead in his eyes and block his ass. Right motherfucking now, Dream Dog. Look into his eyes, give him a long kiss goodnight on your platform. Get his ass up off here. I'll holler at you, player. Obsess on that, bitch ass. Obsess on that, nigga. Fuck you mean? Nigga, I don't even know you, nigga. You new in here coming in here talking spody. You ain't, nigga, you can't come in here talking no motherfucking spody and you new, nigga. The fuck you think you is, nigga? What the fuck you think this is? And I can tell you don't know a motherfucking thing, and I can tell you ain't been on here with us, cause you talking motherfucking crazy. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's what I be saying about these new motherfuckers. I just be sitting watching them. I would just sit listen to this motherfucker, right? The shit they be talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could tell they motherfucking knew, right? Because they don't motherfucking know what the fuck they want to get in here and talk, but they ain't even caught up on what we done been talking about or no shit like that there. Yeah, so wipe his motherfucking nose, for real, exactly. You know what I'm saying? I just be watching them. All they got to do is slide in here, check the room, check the temperature of the motherfucking room, and have a normal conversation. They come in here talking like they run shit, like they big bosses, like we can't get. They come in here because they want to be involved with what we got going on. You know what I'm saying? Then they come here throwing their weight around, talking all kind of shit, insulting people, instead of just talking and having a good conversation and throwing their ideas out there so we can fucking listen to what the fuck they got to say, and then we can, you know, debate back and forth about their fucking ideas. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit be tripping me the fuck out. And when you go on the motherfuckers' pages, them motherfuckers been on YouTube since 2009. They got no followers, they got no subscribers, none of this shit. Like, I mean, like, and I be just, cause I go on this people's shit sometimes, and I just be checking them out. I be like, these people wild as fuck. They be weirdos, man. I swear they be weirdos. I swear. And young Wade Spring, you working on it too. So if you want to stay in this motherfucking chat, player, you behave yourself, cause we'll wipe your motherfucking nose too. I'm just saying. Let us continue. This how you talking, player. Just have some respect. Just, you know what I'm saying? Say your idea, say what you got going on your mind, player. But I'm just saying, keep it respectable in here. You can be a Melly fan, that's cool. But just talk with some respect. You new here, bro. We know everybody that's new here because we know each other already. You feel me? So we can tell you new. We can tell you new how you talking. I know their names. We on there every night. You need to go back and watch all the other lives and then come to where you get caught up so you know what we know. But you cool right now. You cool. I ain't tripping. You cool. Your other partner had to go though.
His star was rising.
It felt like a turning point.
Here's Complex Deputy Music Editor Eric Skelton.
Kanye hadn't really done too many collabs with younger artists at that time. And everyone was kind of looking at what the next big sound was going to be, and it was starting to become clear that it was melodic street rap. Wind Up being Melly at that point with Murder on My Mind, and then Mixed Personalities was kind of establishing himself as the next up and the one who was going to kind of be the leader of that sound. So yeah, at that point he had just put out that song with Kanye West, and then he put out his mixtape, and then yeah, he was ready to.
On February 11th, 2019 in New York at SOB's. The tour was going to be Melly's chance to show the world what he was made of.
There's lots of artists who can have a big hit on SoundCloud, but I think it kind of presents like, okay, you're for real if you can go out in the real world and sell out a bunch of shows, and then especially start it at SOB's in New York, which has a lot of history in rap.
That history includes important early gigs from some of the biggest names in the rap game, like Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and J. Cole.
To actually have a sold out show at SOBs, that's overwhelming to me.
I got something to say, y'all. Why do I feel so alone?
Now it was Melly's time to shine.
SOBs all it's sold out right now.
The show went great, but by the time that show kicks off, the cops have their warrant for Melly. They're charging Melly with 2 counts of first-degree murder, and cops in Florida want to find Melly. They can just look up his tour schedule. They know he's headed to Washington, D.C. right after New York. This is a murder case, and Melly is a high-profile defendant, so things get serious. Melly is now considered a fugitive, and he's crossed state lines. So the U.S. Marshals in Florida sent a notice to the ones in D.C., who Melly is, what he's wanted for, and that he's in their city. Those are the guys who bust into the venue looking for Melly, only to accidentally grab Jay Green instead.
I just know that we was in the backstage and then the police rushed. That's all I remember.
Melly's lawyer calls the prosecutors, and they agree Melly will surrender the next day. So on February 13th, 2019, our county sheriff's office in Fort Lauderdale and turns himself in. With all the times he's been in and out of jail over the years, it's easy to imagine that Melly thought everything would be over quickly. He'd figure everything out and then get right back to making hits. Things didn't work out that way. Next time on Infamous, our producers go to Gifford and check out the spot where Bortland says the drive-by happened.
Is a Porsche? Absolutely not. This is not where you shoot people.
And when our team lines up Bortland's story with the cop's story, they find some surprises.
So the next episode is episode 6. That is, to me, is the most entertaining episode. It's the episode where they talk about the actual crime, the evidence that the police got against him, what happened in their opinion, the stories, the whole scenario. So we're going to listen to episode 6. And after episode 6, I'm going to go and lay down, get a little bit of sleep because I've been up all night grinding with y'all. I appreciate y'all grinding and supporting and all of that with me too. And we're going to listen to episode 6. And then we're going to chill out for a couple hours, and then we're going to come back with the rest of them.
Evidence. A video that the state. Then they drove about 7.5 miles to a spot where the cops say.
Hold on. So this episode 6.
In May 2021, this show's producers went to the exact location where YNW Bortland said he and his crew were attacked. A drive-by shooting that killed 2 of his close friends, YNW Juvie and YNW Sack Chaser.
It definitely looks very wealthy. Is a Porsche? Absolutely not. This is not where you shoot people.
Then they drove about 7.5 miles to a spot where the cops say Juvie and Sack Chaser were killed by YNW Melly with help from YNW Bortland.
There's a whole lot of nothing on this road.
He was Green Dog.
What really happened that night?
That's why I let Green Dog get that body. She just kissed him right in the mouth and just cut his throat. Green Dog, my dog cut throat. Green Dog looked him in his eyes and just cut his motherfucking throat.
In partnership with Complex. This season looks at how a violent murder tore a group of best friends and a Florida counterpart, and why hip-hop's breakout star, YNW Melly, is at the center of it. I'm your host, Ace Hood, and this is episode 6, In the Swamp. We're gonna look at the murders of Sack Chaser and Juvie from 2 angles. First, Bortland's story, what he says happened that morning before he showed up with 2 bodies at the hospital. And then we'll tell you exactly what the Miramar police said happened and why. Let's get it.
I was checking him out. He can chill right now. Look, Young Wade, you can chill right now. But
these 2 accounts took a bunch of research. Our team went through a ton of paperwork for this case. Records, legal documents from the cases against both Melly and Bortland, phone calls with attorneys, both on and off record. We even talked to someone at the U.S. Marshal's office, plus a trip to Gifford.
So you were in the studio. Okay, tell me about that night in the studio.
Just a regular night. We was doing like a...
Okay, tell me about that night in the studio.
Just a regular night. We was doing like 5 hours, I think.
That night in October, a bunch of people were at New Era Studios in Fort Lauderdale. The regular YNW crew, Melly, Sack, Juvie, and Borland, plus a few other guys. This is one of them, Fetty.
Just a regular night. We was doing we was supposed to be making songs, but they was falling asleep. Melly was falling asleep. Borland was falling asleep. It was only me, Juvie, and Sack up, and he wanted to throw water on him to wake him up and shit. And then once that happened, we all packed up in our cars and shit, and we left.
It was after 3 a.m. when everyone left the studio and headed home. Borland says that he, Sack Chaser, and Juvie all got in this gray Jeep Compass. This video shows that a guy named Dontavius Withers drove a second car, a red Mitsubishi. Dontavius told police that Melly rode with him and a few other guys. Remember Dontavius' name, because it'll come back.
Dontavius lying.
Borland says that he took I-95 to 595 to 75 and then got on Miramar Parkway headed west. He says that just as he passed Dykes Road, a car pulled up next to him. Out of nowhere, they started shooting. Borland dug down to avoid the shots. He says he never caught a glimpse of the shooters. When Borland looked around, he said he saw Sack Chaser and Juvie had been shot. Borland says he drove right to Memorial Hospital in Miramar. Doctors pronounced Sack Chaser and Juvie dead less than 15 minutes after they arrived. Now, when I heard that story, I thought it was wild. First off, I'm familiar with New Era. That studio is connected. They were my Haitian Zo homies in my community. Guys who were hustlers and very much in the streets. So it was a real blast from the past to hear that name again. Also, I used to live right where Borland said the shooting happened. I stayed in a complex called Silver Lakes right by the Chick-fil-A. It's one of my favorite spots. In fact, I lived in that general area for about 10 years. So I was confused when I heard Borland's story, because that's a nice neighborhood. It's not normally the place where many drive-by shootings happen. Our producers didn't take my word for it, though. They decided to check the spot out for themselves.
We are currently on Miramar Parkway going west, and Dykes Road and Southwest 160th Avenue is our next intersection.
That's our associate producer, Misha. She's driving with our supervising producer, Shiva.
It looks like there's some sort of gated community, the well-trimmed gardening and stuff, palm trees lining the middle of the road. Yeah, white people on bikes where you shoot people.
Just like Misha, the cops were skeptical of Borland's story about where the shooting happened. And just like Misha, they went to that intersection. Investigators walked up and down for blocks, looking for any evidence of the shooting. Bullets, broken glass, anything. There was nothing. Not a speck of evidence of a drive-by shooting. And that's not all. The cops also went to Dontavius Withers. He's the one who was driving the second car. At first, he backed Borland's story.
And he tells them at first, yeah, Melly was in my car the whole time, of course.
That's our reporter, Sean. But when the cops saw surveillance video of everyone leaving the studio, they saw that Dontavius was lying. There's video of Melly getting into Borland's car with Sack Chaser and Juvie.
So for all the people that asked, was it somebody else in the car with them boys? Fuck no. They got surveillance video showing Melly getting in the fuck. Dontavius Withers started lying, saying that Melly was in the red Mitsubishi with him, but that's a goddamn lie. The police found that out by the video, surveillance video from the studio. So they know the 4 individuals that was in that car.
Not into Dontavius' car. So the cops went back to Dontavius.
And he was like, yeah, so what I meant to say was Melly started out in the other car, but as we were driving, he called me, and so we pulled over and he got in my car. He's just sort of changing his story. It appears to do whatever he can to make sure that Melly's not placed at the scene.
Now I got a question for some people. If Melly is innocent, what's all this shit going on? What's all of this changing the story, and what's all of this? Oh, he was in this car. Oh no, he wasn't in this car. What's Borland telling the police that Melly was not in the car, not on the scene, none of that shit, not on the scene or none of that. But then when it come out, we find out that Melly was in the car from the surveillance video and from the little clip that they put on the end of the documentary, saying that when they say that Melly and his friends were a victim of a drive-by shooting. So if he ain't had nothing to do with this shit, What's all the cloak and dagger, smoke and mirrors, star me out with the mystery shit? What's up with all the Scooby-Doo mystery machine shit? I'm just saying.
So now 2 parts of Bortman's story are falling apart. Where the shooting happened and who was with him. Now, the most crucial part. Cell phones. More specifically, cell phone records. See, Melly bought Sack an iPhone 10. That means Sack and Melly's phones were on the same network. And of course, he investigated
I told y'all about that iPhone 10.
so they can retrace everyone's steps minute by minute. So that's what we decided to do too. We used prosecutors' accounts of what the phone records showed. Misha and Shiva took the exact same route as Bortland, Melly, Sack, and Juvie. They started out at New Era.
Yo, complex is here.
Then, turn by turn, they went exactly where the YNW crew went.
We're hitting Pines Boulevard, making a left, going west.
At first, this didn't seem at all like the kind of place you'd kill 2 people and stage a drive-by.
Basically looks like a giant golf resort.
Like we just passed a Lamborghini. We literally just passed an orange and black striped Lamborghini.
But as they got closer,
it feels weird now. Now it feels really weird.
Now there's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing out here now. Now it's just grass and shrubbery on either side. Damn, yeah, I got a little scary now. I'd be a little scared too.
the phone records show that Bortland's car came to a stop at the corner of US 27
Tell us, Green Dog.
Road.
You know you got the power, homegirl. I don't give a damn.
That's 27.
If you want to catch you another one, do your
I go
thing.
south to
You don't hear a word from me. I'm be like, oh well.
Here's what they
she didn't
saw.
like them.
It's very much deserted. Nothing out here. Just trash on the side of the road. I don't think you would hear a gunshot from here. Cause you got the highway noise. We're literally in the swamp now. This is some creepy ass shit. I'm not going further down because that's just a lot.
There are a few things officials say happened when the YNW crew reached that creepy-ass intersection. Phone records show that Melly got out of the car. And his mother. But Miramar cops say he also did something else. He fired a bunch of shots into the car to make it look like a drive-by. And he did that in order to cover up the fact that right before that, while the car was stopped, he had just shot and killed Sack and Jude.
Now I'm gonna back this up for y'all.
He fired a bunch of YNW crew.
This is some creepy ass.
I wanna back this up for y'all. They finna break the whole shit down from cell phone records. Now, don't ask me how they know all of this shit like this here, but I'm just saying. They finna break this whole shit down again, step by step. Log in now.
Shit. I'm not going further down because that's just a lot.
There are a few things officials say happened when the YNW crew reached that creepy-ass intersection. Phone records show that Melly got out of the car. While he was out.
He got out of the car. When he got out of the car, he called his girlfriend and his mama. They got cell phone records stating that he did this at that situation spot where they got killed at. They know he got out the car because you can fucking tell when the fucking phone moved from the fucking pinging.
But Miramar cops say he also did something else. He fired a bunch of shots into the car to make it look like a drive-by.
They also found 8 .40 caliber shell casings at that scene. Right there. They found glass that matched the fucking glass from the car, from the compass. They found that glass on the scene. So all the shit that they supposed to found on Miramar Parkway, they found it right there in that actual spot right there.
And he did that in order to cover up the fact that right before that, while the car was stopped, he had just shot and killed Sack and Jude.
So here we go again. He say right then, before the car was stopped, he shot Sack and Juvie. So I'm assuming the car was slowing down to stop up. about to stop or however it go. But he said right then before the car stopped, he shot Sack and Juvie. I don't know how the fuck they know that. Don't ask me. I ain't no fucking forensic scientist. I don't understand how they're going to know. The only thing I can go with is time of death. But I don't know for sure. I'm sure to come out and trial. That's one of the things I'm going to be listening for. How did they know exactly when they were shot? You know what I mean? I can only go with time of death. You know what I'm saying? But I thought that was like an estimate. So I can't be sure. I'm not, I don't know. But they are saying that this is what happened. So I'm just breaking it down.
Now, how do they know that? The cops first went to that intersection about a month after the murder. They brought a police dog and it started going crazy at an area about 3 football fields from the intersection.
So he say the police went to that spot a month after the crime. That's a long fucking time. And for that shit to still be there, the shell cases and the fucking glass, wow.
When the cops examined the area, they found 2 things. First, they found broken glass that matched the busted windows in Borton's car. But that's not all. They also found 8 .40 caliber shell casings on the ground. There were also 40 caliber shells found inside of Sack and Juvie's bodies. And one more thing. On the day of the murder, the cops found a whole different 40 caliber shell casing. Except this one was inside the bag by the left rear seat. That's where the videotape evidence shows that Melly was sitting when he first got in the car.
I want y'all to do something for me, man. Please hit that like button. We've been rocking for 3 hours and 30 minutes, and we did a 2-hour live last night on this subject, man. Do me a favor, man. Hit that like button, man. Hit that like button, man. I ain't even been asleep, man. I'm grinding. I'm grinding for y'all, man. We doing this shit. Hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Stop, take your time out, and hit the like button. It's free. It's free. If y'all looking at my channel, y'all wondering why my channel ain't as big as it could be, it's because people don't hit the like button. If you hit the like button, then it's gonna spread the videos to a wider audience. You see what I'm saying? You know, I'm up here, I'm grinding, I'm putting this shit together for y'all who interested in this case. You know what I'm saying? Please hit the like button. Just hit the like button. It's free. You ain't gotta spend a dime. Hit the like button. Please hit the like button. We going on 3 hours and 30 minutes here on this live. This is the Ace Hood infamous documentary on YNW Melly that we've been going over. We on episode 6 right now. Later on this week, we're going to have YNW Juvie's father, Chris Thomas Sr. Spoon, on here going live so you can ask him questions and all of that. So subscribe to his channel. It's called Spoons Full of Game on YouTube, and subscribe to this channel. If you don't subscribe, you're not gonna know when we go live, so you're gonna miss your chance to ask this man questions. Hit the like button so these videos can go and spread to a wider audience. I mean, it's all here for you. We bringing shit that ain't nobody else can bring, that's bringing to y'all here on YouTube. Not no DJ Academics, not none of them. Ain't none of